Here we go, my pezzies, my last stream. My final stream, maybe ever. This could be the one. We're ending on Dank Souls. Only joking, it's my last stream before I go abroad. Let's do it, Dark Souls. No. I've been told to pepper my tears. I can't imagine why. It's bloody Dark Souls. It's all grisly, ghoulish, gooey and gross. But it has been a ride. Dark Souls 2 and 3 coming in the future. Den 4 buddies. Ended so perfectly. Hello guys, what is good? Tyler, Loki. What's up, mate? Took you long enough in your horny jail. Yeah, I got held up in horny jail. Hey, Captain Too Obvious. Are you good, mate? Are you good? There's a lot of sad stuff in the lore. So, little recap of the lore I think I've got in my head so far. So Gwyn. So all human and humanoid-like creatures, giants and whatnot. They lived near the Earth's core, underground. Dragons ruled above. And then they used the power of the first flame to head up to the top. The Pygmy stayed down below, the others went up and tried to seize land or the upper world, Gwyn being the most predominant of them, powered the first flame, which when he activated, destroyed the sun, or got rid of day. Gwyn got the help of Seath, the scaleless dragon, concocted a way to destroy the other ancient dragons. And they weakened him, but it was Neo who got him with the killing shot. Neo came in, prop scap, you got the finishing kill. Oh, what's this just transitioned to? What else do I know about the lore? So, oh yeah, Gwyndolin, so we've got Guinevere, Gwyn's daughter, got Gwyndolin. I've never listened to this song in my life, and I've got it downloaded. What is this? Gwyndolin was his son, but because grew up with a bunch of moon maiden mages in the moon temple, was brought up female. That's pretty much all I've made so far. Oh yeah, and there's all that cool stuff with Pinwheel trying to resurrect his family, but ended up being merged with them. Couldn't separate them. God, where's this song come from? This tune makes me want coffee. Yeah, man. Oh, I got my sexy new mug. I didn't show it off. What language is this? So it's not making me want to watch Dark Souls, though. It's making me want to chill on the porch, the bevy, in the sun. Yeah. Watching the kiddies play. That sounds so weird. That sounds so weird. They're over 16. Is that a peasant merch cup? No, this one. I did get a merch cup, but let me get it. It's only I'd see what that 16 sign looks like. Flags, summons. I think it's better when it's large, like key. Focusing. Upcoming nation flags. Nation flag. the dominance of yeah. Man, this song is so chill. Hello, Kirka. What's up? How's Dark Souls experience compared to Bloodborne and Sekiro pairs? So unique compared to them. I actually, in a lot of ways, I like it even more because of the switch up between like the shield, or like the one-handed mode, or the two-handed mode, or the 50% armor, or the 25% armor. I know I didn't cycle through like many weapons and like certainly doing like mage build or anything, but even in the little bit of diversity I tried, which wasn't much. It wasn't much because I very much stuck to my guns most of the time. Very diverse combat and just really intriguing how each boss can be taken down with such a diverse, different way of approaches, and some of which are just so much more effective than others. But of course, the main defining thing about Dark Souls, whereas like Sekiro, like the cool grappling hook, and the Bloodborne had like the super cool aesthetic that was so unique, that Van Helsing sort of style to it. Dark Souls just had that medieval, gritty, fucking savagery, traps that just, yeah, areas that just made you, yeah, and just unfair moments that made you, yeah, you know what I'm saying? And all of that was just a beautiful, unique ass experience. But anyway, guys, so I've got Artorias, I've got Gwyn first. Still got the Artorias lore. Hopefully you guys linked them. Should we get this Dark Souls bizzle underway? Let me actually see what we've got linked, what we're going to be going through. I think more's been linked. So we've got Gwyn Part 2, Prepare to Cry. Which ending is the good ending? Yeah, both were so weird. The demon llamas worshipped me in one ending. The ending I got, I accidentally burnt myself in the bonfire. More Prepare Solaire. All right, Manus and the furtive Pygmy. I didn't fight that. Was it Izalith? Did I fight that Izalith? One of the Dark Souls. Oh my god. Oh god. Right, there's loads to go through. Let's just get it going. Right. Dark Souls lore is dark. Hello, Honey Thistle. Will you be taking a break from streaming over Christmas, Pairs? No, I'll be back just after. Well, it depends how I feel from this trip, but I'm planning to come back as soon as this trip is over. It's going to be about a week, but see how I feel afterwards. Do you have video content where you play FF9? I haven't ever played FF9. I never recorded a play of 9. I've done a few FF9 videos. I did a theory one, which is that's a really cool video. Did Garland achieve his goal? Okay, did Garland actually win what he was setting out to? Oh my god, Joe X Hunter, thank you, mate. Thank you, mate. I see you've been paying attention to the lore of my favourite game, Pairs. I'm glad. This game like Final Fantasy 15 helped distract me through some rough times. Everyone's got that game. Which game helped you through the roughest of times, guys? We've all got that game. For me, I think it might have actually been Type 0. I think that's why I've got such a love for it. Type 0, it was a real leaning point for me. Love the game. And of course, 7. 7 defined my childhood. Repaired it. Yeah, man. Thank you so much, Joe X Hunter. Dark Souls 3 was your game for that. Damn. Can't imagine Dark Souls being that game for you when you're in a rough patch. All I can imagine is exacerbating a rough patch. I need to be emotionally healthy to play these fucking games. Persona 3 did, ironically. I'm so excited to play Persona 3 and Horizon. That's the thing, guys. When I get back from holiday next week, 2 new live streams, baby. 2 new live streams. That's going to be so hype. Horizon Zero Dawn and what's the other game I keep saying I'm going to play? I've forgotten already. What was I saying I was going to play, guys? Horizon and fucking something, mate. You guys remind me. All right, let's get going. So, Gwyn and the First Flame. Thank you, by the way, to Vati Vidya. You guys probably know this is... Let's kind of cut off a bit there. They are, without a doubt, the Dark Souls lore master.
Remember, it's this. Fire fades, and it's inevitable and natural for the world to return to dark.
Yes,
The future is dark, but it was not always this way. Let's go back to where there was a flame. The hero has made it to the kiln, where the first flame was found, thrived, faded, and was kindled again. The hero descends to kill the god who kindled that flame. This god is a shell now, a husk. He's lost his kingdom, his knights, his wife, children, and friends. But even...
Sorry, hold on. Can I start this again? I'm getting really, really distracted. The dogs are barking. My attention's going to them.
If there's one thing to remember, it's this.
Stuff
Fire fades.
Oh, let me check on these dogs. Why are they barking? Yuna! What's she sassy? Yuna! I'll feed you to the first flame, Yuna. Alright, here we go.
And it's inevitable and natural for the world to return to dark.
Yep.
The future is dark, but it was not always this way. Let's go back to where there was a flame. The hero has made it to the kiln, where the first flame was found, thrived, faded, and was kindled again.
The kiln.
The hero descends to kill the god who kindled that flame. This
Yeah.
god is a shell now, a husk. He's lost his kingdom, his knights, his wife, children, and friends. But even with nothing left, he sacrificed himself to keep the dark at bay. This is the story of a man who fought against the inevitable.
We're the ones who killed his children, his wife.
In the beginning, there were two planes of existence. There was the above and the below. Above was grey, with dragons who had existed forever. Nothing changed, nothing progressed, and nothing lived or died. I think of the below as dark, although it probably was nothing of the sort. How can darkness exist without light? But that was about to change, because when the flame came, it created disparity. Now there was light and dark, and the light illuminated the creatures who were hiding. These creatures emerged to inspect the flame, and these were the ones who would become known as giants.
Giants?
For within the flame was great power, and 4 giants claimed this power. They claimed it, and it shaped them.
His voice is so good.
Death. The Witch of Izalith represented life. Lord Gwyn stood for...
Izalith, yeah. Did I fight Izalith? Man, his voice is so snuggy for the Souls vibe. So snuggy. I need to get a voice like that. But for Final Fantasy lore. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to try to copy Vati Vidya when I get back. I'm going to be FF Vidya. Oh, Izalith was the big tree. Right. The big horrible ass tree was Izalith? Oh man, but Izalith's supposed to be sexy.
Known as giants. For within the flame
The shot makes me think that Izalith was going to be a sexy elf girl.
They claimed it, and it shaped them. Nito came to embody death. The Witch of Izalith represented life. Lord Gwyn stood for the light, and the Pygmy kept his dark soul a secret. Gwyn decreed that the flame was more powerful than the grey existence up above, and the giants declared war on the dragons to claim the surface. Alas, the dragons were immortal, and many knights of Gwyn fell, but there was one dragon who betrayed his own. Seath the Scaleless, born without the stone scales of immortality, told the dragon's weakness to Gwyn. The stone scales were the secret to their immortality, and the lightning was their weakness. So Gwyn and his knights fashioned bolts of lightning to peel apart their stone scales. Nito unleashed disease on their exposed flesh, and the Witch of Izalith and her followers used fire sorceries to burn their homes, the arch trees, to ash. And the dragons were no more. And so, the Age of Fire was born, and the giants began their own story. But since this is a story about light, it is also a story about dark. For it is inevitable that one day the flame will fade, and only dark will remain. Seath was granted 3 rewards. He received a piece of Gwyn's Lord Soul, a dukedom in Gwyn's kingdom, and his own research facility to discover immortality.
The crystal area, that was a cool
Something
area.
he never would have had with the dragons around. The Age of Fire had changed the shape of the world.
It's a bit of Gwyn's crystal
kingdom
soul.
grew during the Age of Fire, and the lands outside assumedly looked to Lordran as their capital city. Anor Londo was built close to the sun, and eventually smaller towns and cities grew to surround it. The giants became the royalty and the gods, and humanity spread, worshipping those more powerful than them. Gwyn himself had a wife whose name is not known, and by her he had 3 children. His firstborn was the god of war, who formed the warriors of sunlight. However, he lost the annals, which were historical records. Gwyn decreed that his son would share the same fate, and all record of the firstborn was stripped from the land. Gwyn's second-born, Guinevere, was well loved, with her own statues and covenant the princess guard. The third of birth was Gwyndolin, who was born frail and deformed. He was raised as a daughter since he was proficient at moonlight magic, which is...
This law is so crazy. So the first son, the god of war, we don't know his name, and he was stripped from the records. Why was he stripped from the records? I might have missed that little point. And for a game that doesn't wear any of its lore on the surface, I mean, I said this shit for the same as Bloodborne. It's such a unique version of subtle storytelling that requires so much dissecting and piecing together of the player. He was just a bad boy. Oh, we find out who he was later. Oh, later, well, like in later games or something. All right. Remember, she was just sitting aside and was actually boss that took a couple of hits to kill. What, like the little worm thing inside Izalith?
Considered a female trait. His existence was hidden, and his covenant, the Blade of the Dark Moons, hunt down sinners and protect the illusion of power in Anor Londo. For hundreds of years the Lords prospered, but everything ends.
So the
Locked
giants...
away in his archives, Seath is desperately searching for the secret to immortality. The six-eyed channelers read for him, and search the world for test subjects. These test subjects are locked away in crystal golems for transportation back to the archives, where they become the subject of his experiments. At the base of the prison...
Oh, wow. Six-eyed dudes find subject, they catch them in the golems, and they take them back. What?
There are Pisakas, twisted monsters created from captured maidens. If you listen carefully, you can hear them crying. At some point, the knowledge in the archives sends Seath mad. It's impossible to know whether he was insane before or after his experiments on the maidens, but one way or another, Gwyn turns a blind eye to the happenings in the archives. Perhaps it was this that led to the rebellion against the gods. In the war against the dragons, Lord Gwyn had a friend and compatriot named Havel the Rock, who was the sworn enemy of magic and Seath the Scaleless. After the war, Gwyn granted Seath dukedom and a part of his own soul.
Yeah.
Perhaps Havel was bitter at Gwyn's preference for Seath, since he started to collect items capable of killing the gods. Hidden in his basement in Anor Londo, there is an occult club. Items of the occult can kill the gods and are rightly feared.
Ironically, the armor that I actually took in to beat Gwyn, I actually had to Havels up, full Havels, to go in and beat him. Ooh, and it had story pertinence.
Havel was also a bishop of the church, who knew the whereabouts of the Dark Ember. Lastly, the effigy shield states that there was once an ill-fated plot to destroy the gods. Ill-fated because the attempt failed. Among the royalty, there are rumours of a hero locked away in a stone cell by a dear friend. They say he was locked away for his own good, which led many to believe that the man inside had gone hollow. Havel helped Gwyn win his throne, but met with the fate of the undead and was kept in a cell so he could not harm others. That's what they would have you believe. But what if Gwyn learnt of Havel's plan to kill the gods?
Havel got betrayed.
Perhaps Havel was not hollow when he was locked away. Perhaps he was locked away for the good of the realm, and left to hollow in the middle of an area overrun by hollows.
Yeesh.
Gwyn would have locked his friend away for the greater good, but was it the right thing to do? This marks the peak of the Age of Fire, and the darkness is looming. Soon Gwyn will need all the friends he can get.
Got chills. Got chills on chills. Very chill.
People are searching Google.
Alright, there we go. First Flame. Let's go. Part 2. Straight on. And then everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked. Hey!
Those who are afflicted with the dark side.
No. Oscar the Fateless. Why did it switch to Oscar the Fateless?
soon, I will be consumed by them, by the dark.
The dark is in every human.
Thou art strong, human. Surely thine kind are more than pure dark.
But do humans have light and dark within them? Even in his last moments, Artorias thought
Kingdom Hearts bullshit, isn't it? I was really enjoying Dark Souls, and they had to introduce Kingdom Hearts bullshit.
so.
I beg of thee, the spread of the abyss, it must be stopped.
The furtive pygmy was the first human. It claimed the dark soul and waited for the fire to subside. For while the other souls grew weaker, the dark soul grew stronger. The lord souls of light and dark seemed to be in counterbalance to one another. While Gwyn fathered the Age of Fire and set up his kingdom, the pygmy shattered the dark soul and fathered humanity. This mysterious black sprite was the powerful life force of humans, driving them to love, hate, create, and destroy.
Okay.
The most pure-hearted humans were able to create more humanity within themselves. The dark soul is unique in that it can grow.
So there we got the 7 princesses of light. Yeah, okay, I see where you're
and
going.
spread through humans. By the time the furtive pygmy was killed, it was already too late. The dark soul had already been split, and it continued to split and grow like a disease. And as the darkness grew, the flames did fade, and Gwyn's kingdom began to fall. With the fading flame came the rising dark, and those who would see it grow stronger. The dragons and the giants were not the only things in the Age of Ancients. From the stone dragons came drakes, hydras, and primordial serpents. You have to wonder at how much influence the serpents have had, because all throughout the ages, the serpents have always achieved their desires at the expense of others.
Yeah, they
we know
have
of one
the
serpent,
reptilian
Karth,
overlords.
who hides in the shadows to see the shadows grow. It was the manipulations of such a serpent that led to an upturned grave, and the doom of Oolacile.
Believe it or not,
Upturned grave?
Oolacile has brought the abyss upon itself, fooled by that toothy serpent. They upturned the grave of primeval man and incited his ornery wrath. What could they have been thinking?
Manus, the father of the abyss, primeval human and once the furtive pygmy, unleashed the wrath of the dark upon Oolacile, corrupting and transforming its denizens.
Right, so like the snake boys being classic snakes, just the ones in the corner trying to bring about the Age of Dark, which is why when we became the Dark Lord at the ending, they were there like, hello, my master, and they bowed down. So the furtive pygmy split the dark soul, which birthed humanity, and then the pygmy is Manus, the primordial human, and the snake boys dug up the body. And then he, for some reason, took his wrath out on Oolacile.
Into monsters.
Knight Artorias came to stop this, but such a hero has nary a murmur of dark.
That's the
Without doubt,
mushroom
he will
gill.
be swallowed by the abyss, overcome by its utter blackness. Indeed, the abyss may be unstoppable.
God, that fight,
And
that was the
Artorias
best
was
fight
slain,
in Souls.
But a
for
hero
sure.
from a time
Artorias,
distant yet near
great
killed the
fight.
primeval human in his name and ended its rampage. But Karth simply moved on to his next target.
Karth.
Gwyn split his own soul and handed it to the 4 kings who ruled over Anor Londo. It was a reward for their foresight, but the kings only wanted more power.
God, these videos are put together so well. Karth. Those snakes are the good and evil. But the snakes have different opinions too. Karth and Frampt want different things, for example. Karth and Frampt. Oh, these are the name of snake. Karth and Frampt seem to have different motivations. Are these different snake boys? Right, which was the one that took us down to Gwyn's area? The one who chatted with us. Did I meet both of these snake boys? Or did I just meet, was it Karth or was it Frampt? I've only met Frampt. I met Frampt.
Long ago, the 4 kings were powerful men Only their hearts were weak. When an evil serpent dangled the art of life drain before them, they were unable to resist
The art of
and
life
became
drain.
pawns of evil.
So, and that was the 4 kings I battled in the void.
Gwyn had already seen what happened in Oolacile. The spread of the abyss had to be contained wherever it was found. He flooded New Londo in an attempt to seal the darkness and the kings. It was around this time that the other gods started to panic. The goddesses Fina and Velka had already been forcibly exiled by Seath, and Gwyn's own daughter Guinevere was to follow. She fled with the flame god Flan and abandoned her father.
The flame god Flan?
Meanwhile, the Witch of Izalith was working on a plan. She was attempting to duplicate the first flame using her own magic and her lord soul. Perhaps this could fight off the gathering dark. But this plan did not work. In fact, it backfired, engulfing the witch, her sisters, and the city of Izalith. Her soul of life became twisted, creating malformed, demonic, chaotic life. And the world saw its first demons.
Right. And that's why when we fight Izalith and it's the tree and it burns up, it's because Izalith tried to use her dark soul and fire magic to recreate the first flame. Yeah. Oh, you have to beat the 4 kings early to be able to meet Karth. Wait, you can beat the 4 kings much earlier, so you can meet him. Damn. That's the other thing I really love about Dark Souls is like the structure of it, the way you do things in certain orders, and the choices you have. All these different outcomes. It's really cool. Her Lord Soul. Yes, her Lord Soul. So Kath is the Serpent of Dark and Framp is with the fire.
The Silver Knights of Gwyn still remained from the war against the dragons, and they were ordered to fight against the Chaos Demons. Despite the bravery of the knights, they were repelled by the bed of chaos. The Silver Knights retreated to Gwyn with armor blackened and charred from their journey to Izalith.
Yes.
They had failed. Gwyn's downfall is absolute. He's lost his kingdom, his knights, his wife, children, and friends.
Yeah.
For the stronger the light, the thicker...
Well, he hasn't lost them. They've just moved. Like, Guinevere's just moved. But I love the detail about the knights. They went to try to fight off Izalith's dark hordes, and the armor got charred.
The shadows fall. There are no happy endings in Lordran. Even if you do no wrong, tragedy finds you. Maybe you're searching for the light in a dark place. Maybe you're fighting to keep your sister alive. Whether you're adventuring for the sake of adventure, or risking your life for your lord, it will do no good.
Yeah, I never saw Onion Boy.
But despite futility, we do these things anyway. By fighting against the inevitable, we carve meaning from meaninglessness. Gwyn travels to the kiln with his remaining knights, and sacrifices himself as fuel for the first flame, just so it can burn a little longer for the living. The dark will eventually overcome the fading flame, but not without a fight.
So that makes Gwyn sound a bit selfless there, like decent. Curse the Undead originates when Gwyn links the flame. Curse the Undead originates when Gwyn links the flame, granting some humans eternal life until they lose their humanity. Black armor of the Silver Knights was warped and twisted by the force of the rekindled flame, and they developed horns and a demonic appearance. Their disembodied spirit remains inside the armor. The chosen undead awakens in his cell. Will he fight against the dark, or accept it as the age of man? Blah! Okay, I mean, nothing in that inherently makes Grandpa... reading this comment. Gwyn seem bad. Grandpa, what's this? Shows Dark Souls vid. Me, sit down casual. I'm going to tell you a great story. You could say the plan to duplicate the first fire backfired. So Gwyn's Silver Knights who went with him into the kiln of the first flame became the Black Knights that are there now. Yeah, that's it. Gwyn reminds me very much of Zeus. Zeus didn't want the reign of Olympus to end. Same as Gwyn with the Age of Fire. Dark Souls has some great themes, some even biblical. Yeah, and Zeus was also very, very flawed. A bit of an arsehole. That's how the Greeks kind of wrote their gods. They were not all perfect by a long shot. Juicy ass comments, man. Gwyn is selfish. She wants to preserve the Age of Fire. But that's the thing. The way Vati Vidya kind of says it is, he just wanted to keep the flame going a little bit longer. He sacrificed himself so that the Age of Humanity would just go on a little bit longer, and he did it at his own expense. I guess he just couldn't accept the natural cycle of things, and he didn't want everything that they had built up to be undone. Which isn't that understandable? Isn't that understandable? Would you want everything you built, everything you'd accomplished, everything you'd achieved, everyone you'd ever loved to be undone because it was the natural way? Would you? Raquel, you off to bed? Night, mate. Night. Take it easy. I will see you in a week. Have a great trip. Thank you so much. The Age of Fire is not the Age of Humanity, though. That is the Age of Dark. Yeah, but as long as the fire's going, because it has to go back to the dark, doesn't it? It was out of the Age of Fire that humanity came. Or, no, wait. Are you saying it's in the period of the dark that humanity has thrived? Have I got my head flipped round on it? So it's the era of the dark that humanity is existing. What's our next video? Which ending is the good ending? there is no. I won't this. But Pez, he fought the never-changing dragons only for him to attempt the same thing and refuse to follow the order. Hang on, what do you mean? But Pez, he fought the never-changing dragons. Oh, wait, because... Yeah, but they kept it as like the grey, right? So, yeah, because the dragons... Everything was just sort of stagnant when the dragons ruled. Some themes, I don't want to say anything too much, but a few of those themes are sounding very similar to... I'm finally catching up with Attack on Titan. And, oh man, Attack on Titan's get real juicy. Real juicy. But basically the idea that you see an enemy and you're like, I'm going to take that enemy out. Because what they're doing is poopy or shite or selfish. And then once you take out the enemy and then you're in their position, you end up doing the same thing. Attack on Titan stream. Yeah, let's go. What could possibly go wrong with that? Age of Light, not humanity. He kind of fucked humanity forever. How do you mean? He did it for everyone else, but not humanity pairs. The Age of Humanity can't start as it's destined to, while the Age of Gods go on. So, right, I see. So the Age of Flame is about, because this isn't an Age of Humanity. Is it only gods that are prospering then? Because I assume there was loads of humans and whatnot in like Londo and stuff. Like Artorias was a human. Like, what do you mean the Age of Gods separate to like the Age of Humanity? Oh yeah, I'm going to play Dark Souls 2 or 3. For sure. Well, Dark Souls 2 is more standalone in terms of lore. Is it, mate? I'm still going to play 2. I think enough people have convinced me. Junior said it gets pretty decent. Age of Gods is just related to the giants. Yeah, because that's how it made it sound at the start. Like the gods, the giants sort of ruled first. So is that what Gwyn is? Do we describe Gwyn as like a giant? It's just like a god? Of course we do. I mean, Guinevere was a giant-ass waifu. All right, let's go. Which ending is good or bad? Give it to us.
These days are pretty predictable. You have the hero, the villain, the polite dialogue choice, the rude dialogue choice, the bad guys, the good guys, and all the meaningless choices along the way. If you're watching my videos, then you should already know that Dark Souls breaks the mold. Most games either have one canon ending or allow you to choose from a selection of moral minefield endings at the end of the game. Dark Souls is the latter, but the endings are ambiguous as hell. The more you learn about the game, the more confusing the endings become. Most games give you closure, but both Dark Souls endings probably leave you wondering what would happen next. What consequence would my choice have in the game world? The first ending we'll analyze is the Length of Fire ending. You sacrifice your body and soul as fuel for the first flame, which keeps the gods in power. We'll call this the Light ending. Your other choice is letting the flame die out, allowing you to become the Dark Lord and ushering in the Age of Man. Let's call this the Dark ending.
Right. I see. So Age of Man comes when the fire is extinguished. It's extinguished. Right. But why is that? Because humans and whatnot, they came from beneath the ground, whereas was the fire. Why is that the case?
Now, this video assumes you have some idea of what's going on in the Dark Souls universe. If you don't, I have a Dark Souls lore in a minute video you could watch, or you could brush up on the fundamentals presented by Epic Namegraph. To properly understand the endings, you must understand what makes them significant.
Of course, that's why Dark Souls, because the 30th Pygmy split the first Dark Soul, and it was from the... Yeah. It was from that humanity is made. First of the Death Soul, Life Soul, Light Soul.
In the beginning, the 4 Lord Souls were found within the first flame. Gwyn obtained the Light Soul and ushered in an Age of Fire based around that first flame. This Age of Fire meant that the gods and the lords were in control of the world, ruling over humanity. They lit bonfires from the first flame and shepherded the humans. But where did the humans come from? Well, it's my theory that humanity is spawned from the fragments of the Dark Soul. As humanity split and grew, the dark began to overcome the light. This concept of disparity plays a huge role in the game. As the first flame faded, the light faded, and as the light faded, the power of Gwyn and the Age of Fire faded. As the gods started to lose their power, they began to recognize the threat that humanity could pose. It seems the gods couldn't decide what to make of humanity. In the dialogues of Quelana and Goth, we see some of this uncertainty. If you aid them, they decide that humans aren't so bad after all. But if you slight them, then they treat you with that built-up resentment.
Fuck.
So this is true human nature.
Jesus!
The flame continues to fade. The gods abandon Anor Londo, and the remaining gods use illusions to preserve their power. Gwyn, holder of the Light Soul, goes to the kiln of the first flame and offers himself as fuel.
The thing is, Vati Vidya's got good sound equalizing balance. That was not a mistake. They wanted to jump scare me with that. Right, I see. So it is the case that gods and humans sort of, the old classic dynamic of them not being certain of being on two sort of ends. Right. I kind of had it in my head that Gwyn and that lot ruled a land of peasants, but not so.
He sacrifices himself to let the flame burn a little longer. This buys the gods a bit more time to find a solution to their problem.
Alright.
You are that solution. By linking the fire, you become the fuel for the first flame. With you in Gwyn's place, the Age of Fire can continue. But what makes you so special? Well, the character is a very powerful undead if they can make it all the way to Gwyn, and it follows that the more powerful you are, the longer you will burn. It could be that this is why Frampt is trying to push undead towards Gwyn. He is trying to find the one who will burn the longest. So by burning in...
So Frampt wants to keep the Age of the Light going, the fire, which is the Age of the gods. So my ass can cook for the longest. That's what Frampt wanted. Frampt wanted my ass to burn. So I kept the Age of humanity down and the Age of the gods going for a bit longer. That was my outcome.
In Gwyn's place, you have to ask yourself what purpose it serves. You're preserving the reign of the gods and rising to the needs of a dying hierarchy.
Yeah.
It's not even a temporary solution. Gwyn was powerful enough to take out the immortal dragons, and even he became a husk by the end. So while you could see linking the flame as a selfless act, it's hard to imagine that you're doing it for any greater purpose. Indeed, if you link the flame, you are rising to the needs of people who could simply be using you. So, is this the good ending? At first glance, it seems like it. Most players go through the game only meeting the serpent Frampt, who promises that linking the flame will undo the curse of the undead. He talks of fate and gives you purpose.
Screw you,
So at first, I
Frampt.
thought this was the right thing to do. I didn't know that Anor Londo and Guinevere were illusions. I didn't know I was being used, and I thought I was being selfless. But then I heard what Karth had to say. He says that after the advent of fire, the ancient lords found 3 souls, but your progenitor found the dark soul, and waited for fire to subside. He says that with the fading flame comes the age of man. He paints Gwyn as a god who resisted the course of nature, and says that you are being manipulated by Frampt to keep Gwyn's age of fire going. By killing Gwyn and walking away from the first flame, Karth promises that the dark will finally come, and with it, the age of man will begin. At first, I thought that Karth's hidden dialogue was the truth. It makes sense. When you realize that Frampt is manipulating you, you feel like you should believe everything Karth has to say.
Yeah.
It
you,
seems
Frampt.
like Karth is telling the whole truth.
Good old
But
Karth.
is he telling the whole truth? Is the darkness really a place where humans can thrive? Humans are born from the dark soul. That much is true. The Black Humanity sprite is proof of that. But when we journey back to see what happened in Oolacile, we realize how dangerous the dark is to humans. Oolacile was once a human city, overrun by the dark. These are its residents, and this is the fate of the humans who come into contact with the dark. This is the age of man that Karth promises. One serpent tells...
So really, Dark Souls is just, we're an undead character, we're thrust into it, and we're just flailing between 2 apocalyptic scenarios. That's about it, really. 2 shitey apocalyptic scenarios.
you lies, and the other tells you truth. Both of them are manipulating you. If you link the fire, you are sacrificing yourself so that Frampt and Gwyndolin can rule with the illusion of power in Anor Londo. If you let the flame fade, the age of dark will come.
So basically, if that's going to be the case, what's the option that's going to get me to spend eternity with my big titted Guinevere sat together? I know, yeah, because it's not even, well, that's the bonfire one, keeping the age of gods going around, but then my ass is cooked. So my cooked roasted ass can't even enjoy the succulence. God damn it. Or it's just spending a lifetime. Well, then the other option is just spending a lifetime with shitey humans who will probably become void boys with these lads. Creepy llamas.
But is this a place where humans thrive? No, Oolacile is proof of that. In the end, it doesn't matter what you do. If you link the flame, you're just delaying the inevitable. If you let the flame fade, the darkness comes a little sooner, with you at the helm. The one canon ending to Dark Souls is in the prologue. One day the flame will fade, and only dark will remain. So instead of choosing an ending, just go and live with Priscilla or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Priscilla will do. I remember Cody lass. Fatty Vidya gets it. Damn. So, really no nice painting of humanity. No, humans are good and humans will thrive. Nothing decent about the human spirit to be found in Dark Souls. All right. Here we go. Solaire and the Sun. Oh, is this gonna... Yeah, my playthrough, I managed to take the light maggot, or the sun maggot that he was going to wear as his hat. So I kept my boy Solaire alive. I'd have liked to have seen him come in to help me fight Gwyn at the end. Maybe I'll find a scene of that. Alright. We're going on to Solaire. Although Oolacile is the effects of the abyss instead of the dark. Well, isn't it the same thing? Because that came about when the furtive pygmy. No. The dark came about when the furtive pygmy split the first dark soul, and then when Izalith tried to recreate the first flame, that's when the abyss, the void, came in. So they are separate things. As long as the abyss is kept in check, the dark isn't bad. The abyss is when the dark goes out of control. So why? Just because it happened in Oolacile, it happened in Oolacile because Izalith tried to recreate the first flame. But there's no reason to say that that would happen again, were the Dark Souls, the Dark Lord route to continue, that humans might actually have a chance of thriving. Because obviously there won't be another Dark Lord trying to use their soul to recreate a flame. Right, Solaire and the sun laid on.
Easy to find the sun in Lordran, and when you do see it, who's
Goddamn, 2012 this video was made. 2012. Damn, you can hear that bloody background buzz.
to say it's real? The age of fire is ending, and the world is already dark. Logan believes that there are no gods, no transcendence, only power. To become a god is simply to find that power.
Oh, wait, that's where the abyss came from. Wait. So when Izalith's thingy backfired, no, the abyss is born of Manus, so the Pygmy, when his dark soul went wild, he was born from Manus, not the Izalith. The abyss destroyed Oolacile because Manus was awakened and his peace was disturbed for the selfish purposes of the serpents. So the serpents, do the serpents want the dark or do the serpents want the abyss? Or is that the... Yeah, like, so Frampt is the one who wants the Age of Gods to continue. Mein Kampf? Does he want the abyss? Did he... Because he set up what happened in Oolacile? Hey, Tubular Tavis. Yeah, Izalith created demons from chaos. A separate power to dark. Kath says he wants dark, but he actually wants the abyss. So the kind of the idea would be, there could be, the best outcome essentially then would look something like, you let the Age of Gods die, because that's, you can't keep that going forever. You usher in the era of the dark, but then you've got to stop the snake boys sabotaging it. So when I was the Dark Lord, I have all my snake boys bowing to me. If I'd have just gone ham and fucking potatoes and took out those snakies, that's what we needed to do.
The lords found their powers amongst the first flame and proclaimed themselves to be gods. But as the flame fades, the lords must rely on illusions instead of power, until new fuel for the flame is found. As Gwyn burns in his tomb, Gwyndolin and Frampt search desperately for someone to replace him, to maintain their age of light a little longer. Solaire reminds me of the legend of Icarus. Icarus is granted wings and uses them to chase the sun, but he flies too close and falls to his death. Solaire has limitless ambition and strives to obtain the sun as well, but he too runs the risk of flying too close. It's hard to find the sun in Lordran, and the world is already dark. Perhaps Solaire is looking for a new light. There is a prophecy that comes from Solaire's homeland in Astora, a prophecy that sheds light on Solaire's quest.
There is an old saying in my family, thou who art undead art chosen, and thine exodus from the undead asylum maketh pilgrimage to the land of ancient lords. When thou ringest the bell of awakening, the fate of the undead thou shalt know.
To fulfill the prophecy, you must be two things. You must be undead, and you must escape the asylum.
And you must ring the bell.
Oscar became undead, and travelled to the asylum to become a part of the prophecy. You carry out his legacy.
Oscar, right? Okay, so
but
Solaire's
Oscar was
friend.
not the only one trying to become a part of the prophecy.
Okay.
Solaire also escaped the asylum.
Oh, he did?
The way I see it, our fates appear to be intertwined. Both undead, both imprisoned in the asylum, and now we both end up here, in a land brimming with hollows. Could that really be mere chance? I hardly think so. I became undead to pursue this.
Solaire's quest meant so much that he chose to become undead to fit the prophecy. So if you believe that you are the chosen undead, then you and Solaire are on the same path, and your meeting was not chance, but fate. You can choose to believe that everything in your past led you here.
Oh, so Solaire really is a bro.
But who was Solaire before he became undead and met you?
So basically, like, yeah, if this was a cage game, Solaire and Oscar, they're like my Donald and Goofy, except the Rock actually did kill Oscar. Damn, that's the trio: Oscar, Solaire, and us. And I'm Oscar's living legacy. He passed on the Buster Sword to me. Holy shit.
Gwyn, Lord of Sunlight, had 3 children. One was named Guinevere, who fled her father and Anor Londo as the flame continued to fade.
Can we just say, God damn, girl. God damn. She better be coming back in Dark Souls 3.
Another was Gwyndolin, born
amazing
of
chest ahead.
Daughter. Master of illusion, he maintains power in Anor Londo through an illusion of his sister and a fake son. The identity of the 3rd child.
Ah, so it's more Gwyndolin who's keeping the... Wait, it's Gwyndolin who's keeping the illusion of the sun? Gwyndolin is the master of illusions. But when we killed Guinevere the illusion, that's when the sun illusion disappeared, not when we killed Gwyndolin. So he's kind of tied the fake image of Guinevere and the sun together. When we took out one, we took out the other. Because Guinevere's out there, right? She left all this bizzle. So amazing chest. She's out there. She's happy. She's fertile. Ready to go. She can come back. Dark Souls 3.
Is a mystery. All we know is that he was a god of war, but his foolishness led to the loss of something invaluable, and he had his god status rescinded. Statues were destroyed, and there are places where it is clear that
give me that again, Batty.
The identity of the 3rd child is a mystery.
Mystery, yeah.
All we know is that he was a god of war, but his foolishness led to the loss of something invaluable, and he had his god status rescinded. Statues were destroyed, and there are places where it is clear that there have been obvious efforts to remove all trace of him ever existing.
Was that a headless statue?
But in a land far from Anor Londo, near an altar dedicated to sunlight, there is one statue that remains. It's the statue of a woman holding
Gwyn's
a small
wife.
a child wielding a sunlight straight sword. The same sword as Solaire. Solaire never talks of the past, only of the future. Only
I bet they got some theory juices are flowing.
finding his son. If he is the son of Gwyn, then he has fallen out of his father's graces. But who is Gwyn to take his powers away? Solaire would have lost his status, and nothing more. Even though his equipment has no special powers, he travels through Lordran with little trouble, reaching Anor Londo, Demon's Ruins, and Lost Izalith.
They're trying to imply that Solaire is the lost, banished
son. It is
son.
said that the god of war still watches over his warriors. Solaire crosses between worlds to help you take down your foes.
Imagine.
In the end, it doesn't matter if Solaire is the son of Gwyn. To the world, he's simply a friendly man who helps his comrades when they are in need.
God damn.
He is a man who gave everything he had to find something, despite being like a fool.
See, I knew that was the case. I knew that was the case, Almighty Pumple. I knew in my mind that Solaire wasn't actually going to be the Forgotten Son, and that it was just a theory. But I kind of wanted to play along with it in my mind. The thing is, Vati Vidya, even with the latest videos, I've not got to Dark Souls 3 yet, man. That would have been a discovery for that point. But yeah, I mean, it would have been a cool ass theory regardless.
But after years of searching, his hope turns to despair, and his despair turns to madness.
Oh, what's that? Oh, that was...
Turns to... But after years of searching,
yeah,
his hope turns to despair.
Damn.
And his despair turns to madness.
That's so grim. So you've got like this other story of Solaire, like this hero who like selflessly turns himself to an undead to bring back the light, find the real sun, bring about the redemption, and even him, just nope. Just dark, grisly descent into madness.
Finally, I have my very own son.
Shit, he's using like what Gwyn used. I am.
I've done it. I have. Yes, I did. Oh.
Oh man, that's grisly. He's practically orgasmic with glee.
My son, it's setting. It's dark. So dark.
Solaire, a man of indomitable will, loses his mind to a creature that looks like the sun, and dies to your blade. Or does he?
Right, so this is what I did. I saved him. Oh my god, that is harrowing. Man, Solaire just dies in darkness, having never found the sun. Gritty.
Time in Lordran is convoluted, and one undead may take a different path.
Time is convoluted.
A path that lets Solaire persist a little longer.
Yeah. Slash these maggot boys up. So he doesn't find it. That's a cool little weapon. Little saber.
A path that takes you both to the kiln of the first flame.
Yeah.
Where Solaire can fight for his son.
Can fight for his son. Can he though? I suppose, yeah, if we do that, the Age of Fire will end, and then the Dark will potentially, which the Snake Boys might turn abyssal, but maybe not. Maybe the sun will pop back out for a bit. Alright, so this is... If I'd have got my humanity restored and I'd taken on Gwyn. Oh, here he comes! Yeah, Solaire! And he takes some aggro for you. Yeah. Oh, a bit. Mate, your accuracy with those is fucking off, Solaire. Solaire, you noob! That's it. Oh. Wreck him! Wreck him! Nice. That would have made the fight so much easier. Glad I didn't do it. God, Gwyn kicked my booty quite a bit. I'm getting nervous just watching this fight again. Great soundtrack. Ah! Solaire! No! Is Solaire like invincible in this fight? Or can he die? Solaire! Solaire, help him! Hustle. NPCs just have a lot of health but low damage. Oh, he can die. Oh, but he can die.
With Gwyn defeated, Solaire can light a flame of his own and return sunlight to the world. for the fire within Solaire will burn the brightest of all.
Whoa, really? Solaire burns himself? Is that another ending? Is that like a third ending, or are they faking out with the armor? Is that an armor fake out? It's just a cosplay. I thought so. There was just a sprinkled ending of Solaire getting an ending. Yeah, because I don't think the bonfire would have given a shit about Solaire. He ain't got as many dank souls collected as me. Nice. Oh man, Solaire is a much bigger bro than I realised. God damn, I should watch these lore videos through my playthrough. If I'd have known Solaire was that much of a G, I know I would have chatted to him more, checked in on him a bit more often. Man, this lore's cool. Alright, let's smash the next one. This one looks really old based on the thumbnail. Yeah, are we going back to? Oh no, this is 2014. Alright. Oscar would have been proud. Hey, Patrick. What's up, mate? Finally got internet in my new house. So catch up on streams. It's a new, swanky, beautiful, big house with room for one more. Can I come live with you, Patrick? Tash is doing my Sweden. Help me. Oh, Kazoo, I missed the schmecks. Thank you, mate. Not to worry, Pez. I'm suffering through Dark Souls 3. You're not alone. Is anyone else playing a Souls game right now? 2-bed semi-mate, free room. You're full. Sweet.
I'm Dave Klein, and today we're...
Oh, this is Dave Control. A different video.
We're going to talk about the Father of the Abyss who spread the curse that plagues Lordran, as well as the Forgotten Lord who found the Dark Soul. Are they one and the same? It's time to talk about Manus and the Furtive Pygmy. When talking about Manus, it all starts with Oolacile. According to the Oolacile Ivory Catalyst, the white bark boosts sorcery adjustment, but the sorceries of this land are gentle and not affected by intelligence. In fact, when first looking at Oolacile, it would seem all sorceries of the land are just that, gentle in nature. No spells immediately available from the land of Oolacile directly deal damage, but primarily focus on evasion and usefulness, such as casting light, and are even put to use in the elevators of the land. Yet, Oolacile, a township known for its positive and peaceful magics, had a dark secret, one hidden away deep in the mountainside it was built along.
Seduced by a dark serpent or no, they awoke that thing themselves and drove it mad. One's demise is always one's own making.
Deep into the depths of Oolacile lies the Oolacile Dungeon, a dungeon where it would seem the townsfolk tortured various humans they found. Broken through cells can be found, with chains dangling from the ceiling. Players find one such tortured soul, a human transformed by the abyss, who seems to have been mounted and chained to a pole. We can infer this creature was a human, as its only drops are from the chain set. Chainmail armor of thin and...
Damn. Alright, so that's Dave Control's thing. Breaking down some of the armors and stuff. Yeah, that was just one random mob. We had none others like that. Something chained to a pole. So Oolacile were like these peaceful people. Why'd they have tortured
interlinking rings of steel. It is common throughout the human world since it can be easily produced, is not too heavy, and offers good defense. And what was Oolacile, a peaceful township, doing torturing the various humans? I believe that they were trying to draw out and discover new dark magic. Dark fog is described as, in theory, relatively close to humanity. It also happens to be a terrible poison for humans. Perhaps it reflects man's cruelty against his own. Most dark sorceries are described as an abyss sorcery discovered by an Oolacile sorcerer on the brink of madness. I believe that in order to discover this sorcery, the sorcerer had to take part in torturing the various humans, and was possibly human as well. As Goth tells the player, Oolacile was seduced by a dark serpent, likely Koth, telling them a tale of the power of the dark, and in their quest for power, they discovered an ancient burial ground, where they awoke and enraged the primeval human that lay there. Terramantis has a great video describing just these events in his Legends of Lordran series, which I highly recommend checking out, as it helped give me several clues as to what really happened in Oolacile. I believe the people of Oolacile awoke the primeval human who lay in the burial and tortured it. They tortured it to the brink of madness, as they were accustomed to. I believe that throughout these events, the primeval human had one trinket that kept it sane, the broken pendant. Half of a broken stone pendant. The vine appears to originate from Oolacile. A powerful magic can be sensed from this ancient stone, yet men of this time can neither manipulate nor sense its power, which has a distinct air consisting of both reverence and nostalgia. It seems to me the Oolacile sorcerers torturing this primeval human realized the significance of the pendant and snapped it in order to take the final thing this primeval human had, setting him over the edge and transforming him into Manus, Father of the Abyss. Ancient Manus was clearly once human, but he became the Father of the Abyss after his humanity went wild, eternally seeking his precious broken pendant.
I still think on that creature from the abyss that preyed upon me. My faculties were far from...
That's Dusk, right? That was Dusk. Did she say that to me? Wow. So once again, the ones with the greatest of intentions, the father of humanity gets turned the darkest. Oolacile were like the most peaceful. I'm picturing Rivendell, elves, suddenly torturing the living shit out of something. All for what? Because they were seduced by power, and that might have been because Karth whispered it in their ear. Adam and Eve style. The first sin. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, they lived in like peace and prosperity, and the snake twisted them.
Lucid, but I quite clearly sensed certain emotions. A wrenching nostalgia, a lost joy, an object of obsession, and a sincere hope to reclaim it. Could these thoughts belong to the beast from the abyss? But if that were true, then perhaps it is no beast after all. Oh, please forgive my ramblings. It's just that I wish to know the truth, and no one, not even loving Elizabeth, will tell me.
By trading Manus' soul to Snuggly the Crow, the character will receive Pursuers, which is the sorcery of Manus, Father of the Abyss. The will feels envy, or perhaps love, and despite the inevitable trite and tragic ending, the will sees no alternative and is driven madly towards its target. That target being Manus' pendant. Manus, driven mad, attacked everything around him. His humanity and power gone rampant created a spreading abyss and powerful spread of dark that began to consume all of Oolacile, transforming and corrupting all in its path.
And
the
those were like the
sorcerers of Oolacile
sorcerers.
got what they wanted, but could have never predicted the sheer power emanating from the primeval human in which they awoke. A power of perhaps the dark soul? In his rage, Manus trampled all around him, and even stole the beloved princess of Oolacile, Dusk.
But Princess Dusk is here no longer,
that was Dusk.
snatched away by that horrifying primeval human.
The player too is snatched away by the power of Manus through time itself in his rage and attempt to find his precious broken pendant. But is Manus the furtive Pygmy? Let's first take a look at what we know about the furtive Pygmy.
Juicy. Whoa. This lore, yo. I could have done loads of cutscenes of all of this. Do it in a cutscene format. Such great storytelling in such an ambiguous way. Why? Yeah, Pez, the DLC takes place in the past. Oh, of course it does. Of course it does. And we did fight Manus in the DLC, right? But Oolacile was already turned then. What was Oolacile in present day? Why did we even have to go back in the past? So I know it was like the Dark Root Basin or Garden was previous. By the way, hold on. Let me just kick Elky Rise. Cheerio, mate. Toodles, you salty fucker. Oolacile is present day was the Dark Root Garden. Yeah, but at that point Manus was already turned, right? It's already turned. I'm just wondering why it had to be done in the past. We went back there due to what chain of events? You always did. There was a hero from the future that saved Oolacile.
The dark, they came and found the souls of lords within the flame, and the furtive pygmy, so easily forgotten.
So, what do we know for certain about this furtive pygmy? Well, if Koth can be trusted, which, well, okay, he can't. He regardless gives the player our only info about the furtive pygmy.
After the advent...
Right, so basically, when Oolacile went wild and whatnot, that led on to the whole dark fallout of the rest of Londo and everywhere else. We went into the asylum. So at that point in present, when we start the game, Manus is already dead. And we basically just go back to the origin events that started the whole Abyss scenario, which is basically going back to that. When Artorias was first changed, yeah, and there was little Sif, his dogo. Well, not little Sif, massive ass bloody Sif.
Event of fire, the ancient lords found the 3 souls, but your progenitor found a 4th, unique soul, the Dark Soul. Your ancestor claimed the Dark Soul and waited for fire to subside, and soon the flames did fade, and only dark remained. Thus began the Age of Men, the Age of Dark.
I believe while Koth cannot be completely trusted, in this we actually are receiving accurate information from him. Another quote I find incredibly interesting comes from Japanese radio show Game no Shokutaku. In an interview about the furtive pygmy, Miyazaki reveals...
That's him, that's the face of evil. That's the face of pure twisted evil right there. Oh, Miyazaki, we meet. We meet at last. You fucker.
The image is something like a human ancestor. It found the Lord Soul, and humanity is like a fragment of it, kind of like an ancestor, so the descendants have a part of that soul. With this information, we can look at the various humanity sprites the player finds throughout the game. This black sprite is called humanity, but little is known about its true nature. If the soul is the source of all life, then what distinguishes the humanity we hold within ourselves? Each human has a fragment of the Dark Soul within them, which is their humanity. So I believe we can say we know for certain the furtive pygmy was the ancestor of humankind. He found the Dark Soul, and this split into several humanity shards, which is what all humankind have within themselves, making them human and not just some wandering lost soul. I think it's also safe to say the furtive pygmy would have had a powerful humanity in order to do this, as its humanity is the Dark Soul. With that said, take a look at Manus' soul and compare it to humanity. This extraordinary soul is a vicious, lukewarm lump of gentle humanity. Ancient Manus was clearly once human, but he became the father of the Abyss after his humanity went wild.
Had the most humanity
you can actually see the humanity going wild, and at the core of his soul is humanity. We also know, thanks to Elizabeth, that Manus is a primeval human. Furthermore, looking at his burial site, we know he was incredibly important. As my buddy John Quick pointed out to me, the stones encircling Manus' burial are reminiscent of Stonehenge. It is a clearly marked burial site and one that seems to be extremely important.
Does seem kind of ancient.
As we know, humanity is central to the influence of the furtive pygmy. We actually see humanity sprites within the Oolacile dungeon, which seems to be created by the spreading abyss created by Manus. A final clue we have is that Manus is the father of the abyss. Bear in mind, we know various other humans have been tortured by Oolacile, yet none have created such a catastrophe. I believe Manus is not only the father of the abyss, but in fact the furtive pygmy. His soul is the dark soul, and thus why it is so powerful. It is powerful enough to cause him, in his madness, to create the abyss, a spreading darkness and power to contend with the likes of the bed of chaos. While the bed of chaos was the life soul gone rampant, transforming all life around it into demons, I believe the abyss is the dark soul gone rampant. Its power transforms Manus from a normal human into a beast, and one powerful enough to pull the player through time itself.
The stronger your will for good, flipped,
the evidence to support Manus as the furtive pygmy goes beyond just in-game content. When looking at the name Manus, it has a number of implications. In Latin, Manus translates to hand, or the hands, which is a good description of Manus, who has a giant transformed hand. Reddit user MS Painting pointed out to me Dark Souls seems to borrow heavily from Hindu mythology. One great example is in the god Ila, who is known for his/her sex changes, from male to female. Ila is also considered the chief progenitor of the lunar dynasty. Sound familiar?
Yeah.
Further in Hindu mythology is Manu, who in some Hindu traditions...
So it's a Ila. I didn't even know about that. Is it a deity? Was it a god in Hinduism? The original tarp.
Is the progenitor of humanity and is the first man. I believe the furtive pygmy was the progenitor of humankind, as Koth suggested, and went into a deep slumber where he was worshipped as a god by the first humans and eventually forgotten over time. The people of Oolacile eventually discovered his burial site, where they drove him mad, transforming him into Manus and causing the dark soul to run rampant, creating the abyss in its wake. Alright guys, that wraps up my Manus and the furtive pygmy lore video. If you don't believe Manus was the furtive pygmy, as I suggest in my video, I'd love to hear your thoughts, and I'm curious to see what you guys think. I also want to, once again, share Terramantis' Legends of Lordran video on Manus, as I think it was a great take on what...
It's all such polarizing outcomes, like Solaire had the greatest will to like find and praise the sun, and there's option where he turns into has the most dark ending of them all, and then there's bloody Pygmy with the most humanity that spawned humanity itself, the most human of human qualities, turned to absolute the most monstrous thing we fight in the game. Man, piece it all together, all of those items, item descriptions. Miyazaki must have such a unique brain. What was that? From what I've heard, Miyazaki's a bit like the Stanley Kubrick of gaming. Who's Stanley Kubrick? He's a hardcore perfectionist. You can tell. Oh, the Children of Chaos. Who is that? Oh, the Children of Chaos. So those were the ones that were spawned from Izalith. That was when Izalith tried to recreate the first flame. That went wrong, and that spawned the chaos. Is that like the spider chicks as well? The spider waifu? Who I had to munch down loads of humanity and hand it to her. What fight was it I got after that? What fight was it? When I chomped down 30 humanities and that unlocked the something. There was also that centipede creature in the lava area. Was that a being of chaos as well? The chaos fire created demons. Imagine we were working with Miyazaki for an FF title. Man, I'm happy with Suzuki. That's going to be a really cool mix for DMC5. on FF16 DMC5-ish style combat, but mate, I keep saying it. I was saying ages ago, dark themes in FF. I don't know if it go as dark as Dark Souls. Oh, but imagine like a Dark Souls combat FF. Oh man, oh no, it would never work. Yes, Quelag is the daughter of Izalith. Yeah, that's who we fight. Ceaseless Discharge was her son. Mm-hmm. Well, Izalith's son or Quelag's son. Izalith was a son of... Ceaseless Discharge was a son of Izalith. Well, let's watch it, baby. So this is Vati video again.
The Witch of Izalith was one of the primeval lords. Her power came from the soul that she found near the first flame. She focused this power to light a flame of her own. But she failed to control it. The flame of chaos engulfed Mother and my sisters and molded them into deformed creatures. Only I escaped, and now I am here. My mother, my sisters, what have you done?
Long ago, we thought the Chaos Flame was born of desperation.
Great
a flame created to replace the fading First Flame and to secure the Age of Fire for the Lords. We were wrong. Izalith's flame was a flame of ambition, for the First Flame gave life, and Izalith believed that her soul could replicate this power. And she was right, but not in the way that she expected. For when the witch and her 7 daughters huddled together and focused their power, chaos was born. Their flame spiraled out of control, engulfing the women and the city of Izalith. And during this period of instability, the very worst demons were born. But soon after, the witch clearly wrested chaos under control, becoming the bed of chaos at the heart of a new city. On that day, Izalith learned a set of core truths. First, that her power has limits. Second, that fire is to be feared. And third, that grotesque, parasitic life is still life.
That third
the first daughter we meet is Quelag. She is described by her soul as a perfect creation of chaos, and we see this in her movements. Note how she affectionately caresses her demon half, how she smiles with contentment, and how she embraces her parasite.
Ah, a precious new sacrifice. The children of chaos are hungry. Give yourself to Quelag's flame.
A steady stream of undead are attempting to ring the second bell of awakening, making this the perfect...
Seriously, man. Dark Souls movie would be amazing. No, like you could get this in a 2-hour movie and it would be so banging. Like going and meeting like these sisters, these like dark sisters, like their mother, and they're trying to like use that Lord soul to try to get powers over life and turn it into all of this. Oh, would be hard to do. Do you think so? I think Dark Souls would need a series more than a movie. Well, I am only going off the lore I've seen so far, but believe me, if you can stretch the Hobbit book into a bloody trilogy, sure you could drag this out into as many as you want. But oh man, it would be juicy as hell. Half the time the protag would die falling off cliffs. Yeah, god damn. And everyone would just leave a little bit depressed and disturbed and confused. And what was that ending? Wait, what happened?
Perfect place for a daughter of chaos to nest, for chaos, just like the first flame, thrives off of humanity.
Those who defy the pact, those who trespass Quelag's domain, may you feel the depth of our wrath.
She speaks of a pact, but a clueless undead can have no knowledge of this. To us, Quelag is just another foe who blocks our path. But she was so much more than that.
Oh dear, What have we here?
Yeah, this guy.
Are you a new servant? But you have no eggs. No matter.
2019, this
have
was made.
audience with our fair lady. Except, if you lay a hand on the fair lady, you should be prepared to face my wrath.
Quelag, my dear sister, what is it?
Right, and she's blind, and she thinks we're Quelag because she has her soul.
Don't mind me. It does not hurt terribly. Your visits out more than anything. I'll be fine. I have you.
Oh, that's one of the
dear
sisters.
Sister. But promise me that you will take care of yourself.
The Fair Lady is the second daughter of Chaos we meet, but she's not much longer for this world.
Yeah.
Blind, ailing, and unfeeling, she subsists on offerings of humanity that her sister Quelag once brought to her.
Whoa.
With the old witch's ring in our possession.
Oh my god, so even in their dark, chaosy, manipulated forms, they were still tight. They were sisters. Quelag was bringing her humanity grub. Damn.
The Fair Lady understands us, and since Quelag was the only remaining one capable of speaking to her, you must be her sister.
You know, I still remember your beautiful, silky face. If only I could gaze upon it once more. Is something troubling you? Please, sister, do not cry. I am happy, really. I have you, don't I?
You speak the tongue of the fair lady? In all honesty, I am envious. What comfort can I offer without speaking her tongue?
This egg-burdened undead was once a renowned pyromancer. He developed spells of toxic and poison mist, which are considered to be terrible heretical spells. These pyromancies earned him exile, followed by a terrible infection, and then led to a chance meeting with the Daughter of Chaos.
Worse than undead, we are diseased and unwanted like the grime of the great swamp. But my dear fair lady, she cried for me and swallowed the great blight pus, despite Mistress Quelag's orders to the contrary.
These two Daughters of Chaos care really deeply about their offspring, and in the Fair Lady's case, even for the undead that carry those offspring. But without the humanity that her sister brought her, she and her children will die.
Quelag, my dear sister, the eggs, it hurts. They've gone still. I am afraid it may be too late. I am so sorry, dear sister.
Luckily, Ingi does.
Just quickly, that all that dialogue was if I'd fed her 100 humanity. Would you have had enough strength to have even said those words? Woo! Damn. And she's dying because she helped these goonbags out.
Does not yet know that Mistress Quelag is dead, so he shares his flame with you, which is a deeply personal act for a pyromancer, because the flame is a part of himself.
You have served our fair lady well. Now, let this strength be yours.
Before there were
if you had the
pyromancies,
witch's ring
there were
on.
fire sorceries.
Oh, I needed the witch's ring on to be able to have spoken to her. Yeah, she ended up trying to heal the diseased people and got ill herself.
And then, when the Witch of Izalith shared her flame with her daughters, pyromancy came to be. Unlike sorcery, which requires a certain intellect, pyromancy is this personal, primal art, rooted in this desire to hold and control fire, and then it's refined by the acceptance that true control is impossible.
Pyromancy is the ultimate fantasy, We are born into dark and warmed by fire, but this fire we cannot touch. Those whose fascination with fire persists learn to hold it in their own hand.
And so, humanity took really well to this ancient art, passing down knowledge from a daughter of chaos herself.
Have you heard of lost Quelana, an inhuman witch who wanders the poisoned swamp?
Quelana.
Only no one has ever seen her, so who really knows? But what if she is another of the Quelag sisters? Our fair lady would be greatly comforted by her presence.
Go on, Quelana, get her.
A mere undead, yet you can see me. Fascinating.
Ooh.
I am Quelana of Izalith. I am not often revealed to walkers of flesh. You have a gift. Are you too one who seeks my pyromancy?
Quelana is the eldest daughter of chaos.
Oh, she is.
And she's the furthest one from home. It's thanks to her that mankind became so attuned to pyromancy.
Pyromancy is the art of invoking and manipulating fire. But remember one thing. Always fear the flame, lest you be devoured by it and lose yourself. I would hate to see that happen again.
Interestingly, Quelana refuses to teach the chaos pyromancy of her homeland, instead opting for the more refined pyromancies to come. Fire Whip, an effort to control that which cannot be controlled. Firestorm, which displays the indiscriminate horror of flame. And, perhaps most importantly, Rapport, an advanced spell of Quelana that uses fire to lure the living, making them a temporary ally.
Hey!
I have a favor to ask. I abandoned my mother and sisters and fled to this land, but my mother and sisters have been in anguish since. I beseech you, free mother and my sisters from the flame of chaos. I cannot do it myself.
By that, does she mean...
I lack the strength and the bravery. But you, I realize what I am asking. But please, free their poor souls. Mother's ambitions were misguided, no doubt. But surely 1,000 years of atonement is enough.
Quelana believes her family has been in penance for 1,000 years, and that death would be their only comfort. But is this true?
1,000 years? Is that the timeline? Dang. Yeah, man. In Dark Souls, the law isn't what keeps you going. It's the reward for your efforts. That's exactly how it feels right now. All of the things I fought and I hustled and I died against, and I just stare at the visage of it's getting wrecked over and goes seared into my retinas to actually learn all this stuff now. It does, man. It feels like a just reward.
Will you take the word of a woman who's afraid to face her own demons? The flame of chaos is not as evil as Quelana would have you believe. How could it be, when it motivated an entire developed civilization? Izalith's architecture is inspired by chaos. Its first demons are considered priests. The Capra is capable of taming animals. There were embers of chaos used for smithing. There is a written language, a spoken language. This is not really a place that was ruined because of chaos. It's a place that became defined by it.
And it's all thanks to Mother
Izalith. If it was Izalith's goal to create a flame of life, then she succeeded.
She made it.
For two younger sisters and the mother can be found in the depths of Izalith at its lowest point, where demons are born. This seedbed of life is called the Bed of Chaos. It's actually comprised of 3 family members. Flanking on the sides are 2 enchanted, fleshy mounds connected to the center.
Other sisters?
Staves that look awfully like the Izalith staff, seen in the beginning, where 2 sisters flank the mother in the center, which makes the center of the Bed of Chaos Mother Izalith herself. Her control is evident by virtue of our ability to undo it, because if you take out a sister on the side, then the heart of chaos breaks free. So, if chaos was under control, what happened to Izalith? Well, war.
Chaos.
Despite Izalith's aid in Gwyn's war against the dragons, the Lord of Light turned his ire to the creatures of chaos. Did he feel threatened by these monsters? Did he consider chaos to be this affront to the integrity of divine flame? It's impossible to say.
Oh man, Dark Souls calling me out on my racism. I was immediately racist towards the Chaos spawns and the Chaos. I was like, yeah, they look all ugly and gross and inhuman. They must be bad and worthy of destruction. My racism just got checked hard. Now they had a whole civilization. They was all good. Oh, shit.
For sure. For this war, he commissioned an elite order of warriors.
Chaos Pez is disappointed.
Their oversized weapons were designed to deal with their oversized foes, and their loyalty to Gwyn was so fierce that they would later follow him into the kiln of the first flame.
Oh man, this is such a cool setup. Right, they would come into the kiln. The children of Pity.
If there ever was a time for Quelana to slip away and leave, it would be now, during the war. Her family must have thought that she died, for upon an altar, dressed upon an unrecognizable corpse, is a gold-hemmed set that says it was once worn by Quelana of Izalith. So not only does this suggest that she faked her death, it suggests that she couldn't.
Yeah, so the giant smoshy fire demon. She dropped her guard.
Bear to have her family know about her desertion, and this news of her death would have hit no one harder than her brother. This giant is a being of ceaseless discharge, born alongside the worst demons when the Chaos Flame was still unstable. So, to soothe his lava-inflamed sores, his witch sisters gave him a special orange-charred ring, which, fool that he is, he accidentally dropped. He would never receive another, and so he spent the rest of his days in pain, oblivious to everything around him, everything except the shrine to his sister Quelana. Desecrate her corpse, and he would literally throw away his life to punish you.
Yeah.
So strong is the love for his family.
Wow, so he'll be the uncles of, like, Quelaag and whatnot. Yo! But... So Izalith faked her death, but the brother obviously thought it legit. Yo!
Leaving her family may well have been the worst decision Quelana could have made. For, in a move that she could not have predicted, Gwyn stopped short of annihilating the demons entirely. Izalith, after all, was already broken, referred to by many as the obsolete capital of chaos. In return for their miserable lives, and along with a promise to never leave Izalith, it appears that Gwyn received a swarm of demonic troops for his own army. Stray demons guard the asylum. Lesser bat-winged demons became the messengers of the gods, and a white-winged demonic lion watches over the sanctuary of Oolacile. So it was that the family of chaos survived, and Quelana deserted them all. It's likely Quelana didn't expect her sisters to survive the war, but now that they have, she becomes stuck in this awkward state of limbo. She cannot return.
No. Oh, yeah. So I'm getting Izalith and Quelana mixed up in my head. So no. Ceaseless Discharge is a son of Izalith. I was saying uncle. No. It's the son of and brother of the Seven Sisters. Right. I'm sitting here getting confused thinking Izalith faked her death out. No, Quelana faked her death out. That's why she stayed in hiding. Right. And then Izalith made a deal with Gwyn. If she stayed in the bed of chaos, and lend some chaos troops to Gwyn's efforts.
For she disgraced and abandoned her family, and yet, nor can she bring herself to fully leave either. Instead, she sits as close to chaos as possible, punishing herself with this endless wandering through a poison swamp. She watches on, so close to her tormented family, and yet, given her survivor's guilt and her cowardice, she might as well be miles away. Which is a shame, because Quelana could truly be a comfort to her remaining family.
She could.
Especially to the fair lady, to her brother.
It's so dark! It's so dark!
Please,
Do not speak of her. I abandoned my mother and sisters and fled to this land. Now I roam these parts, feigning ablution and pretending to seek answers.
Finally, after 1,000 years of survivor's guilt, she meets us. Someone who can finally break the stalemate. She lacks the strength and the bravery, and we have a lord vessel to fill.
You would betray us, I should have known. My dear fair lady, you are in danger.
Oh no.
Quelag,
Oh no.
what was that? Is something troubling you?
Oh no. Ow!
Quelag, but why?
Why, you monster! The fair lady! What have you done? What have you done?
They gave everything to wrest chaos under control.
Oh my
They ignited
God.
a culture. They displayed that they could control their parasites, and even that having a parasite at all is a choice to serve chaos. And we undo it all. We rip the sisters' shackles from chaos, and despite the mother's feeble attempts to sort of swat us away, we finally put an end to Mother Izalith herself.
Oh man.
Outstanding. You have done very well. Thank you. I am blessed to have met you. Please take this. It is all of me.
If you kill them all.
We fed Quelana's ignorance. She never got to see her brother mourn her for centuries. She likely never knew that her sister poisoned herself for the good of the wretched. Did she know that a dark wraith was squirreling away humanity for his fair lady? That her mother was doubled over in pain for centuries to contain chaos? Survivor's guilt is a real traumatic condition, and it led to the death of her family. Eons afterwards, the effects of all of this are still felt. Without the mother, chaos rises again, unbridled, in a city called Aleum Lois, until a powerful king and queen sacrifice themselves to contain it once again.
Hey!
And even later still, towards the end of the world, surrounded by mountains of dead demons, an old demon...
I've got a feeling that's probably some Dark Souls 3 bizzle, right? That's some Dark Souls 3 bizzle. Dark Souls 2 spoilers. Should I avoid that? Alright, that's some tee up. Wow, man, that was such a well put together video. If I'd have known when I was fighting that just random ass tree thing, there was that much significance and weight. Oh, man. Oh, man. Absolutely wonderfully put together story. I'm gobbling this up. Nom, nom, nom. Man. This is DS2 and 3. I shall avoid it. Wow. There was like a moral of the story. There was like an arc. There was high points. There was low points. There was mystery. There was deceit. There was humanity. And I got checked on my chaos racism. Oh man. Prepare to cry. Legend of Artorias. Pez, there is an updated version of the Artorias video by Vati. What? More so than this one? The Parry God. That's certainly not me. Shall I watch this one then? Or are you saying there's a juicier one than this? Artorias, the Abyss Walker. It's probably the one I want to watch, right? Oh no, 2012. Shall I watch this Artorias one, or are you just saying there's a more updated one? The Artorias law really got me. Okay. Oh man. Let me know if this is the one. I'm going to fill up the bottle. I'm on an emotional roller coaster. Watch the new one. Then I've got a link for it. Yeah, I like that one with the sisters. Quelana. There's some real parallels to that sort of things. Like a super dark, super exaggerated, condensed fantasy version of. Well, he described it as survivor's guilt, but I don't know, people who have family members that only reach away, a message away, and they never do it because of dark, heavy regrets or emotions, the inability to do it. I haven't seen the newer one, only the old ones. Right, should we watch the updated one? Thank you so much, Mr. Gunn. Thank
to
you.
distinguish themselves.
Prepare to Cry remastered. Yeah, remastered, sweet. Okay, let's do it.
Above all others. First, there was Hawkeye Goth, who fought in the First War against the dragons. He exulted in the thrill of the hunt, plucking dragons out of the sky with his enormous greatbow. Soon, the only dragons left were in his memories, which he revisited endlessly. Fighting on the ground was Ornstein, the dragon slayer. He wielded a long, lightning cross spear that could be stamped deep into a stone dragon's hide. Its curious design went on to remind many of an exiled god of war, though none of them dared to speak his name.
It's fine. It's fine. I guess it's tearing me up for stuff I'll see later on. Oh shit! That's gonna be the Dark Souls 3 boss. Oh no! That's the third son, or the first son of Gwyn. Yeah. It's good. We'll watch.
And then there was Kiran, whose talents differed considerably from the previous two. A stealthy assassin, she would have been no match for dragons, and so she must have killed for Gwyn in the Age of Fire to follow. She dazzled her foes with streaks of gold in the night, and then stung with the vicious poison of her silver tracer. But in the Age of Man to come, none were as well equipped as the great knight Artorias. For
it's
nothing,
not really that a spoiler.
not
It's
dragons,
just a model.
nor disunity,
I'll see.
nor
at
even
some
his
point.
enemies.
I'll forget by
frightened
that
Gwyn
point. I get
like
there.
the dark. The dark soul of man filled the Lord of Light with fear, for one day, Gwyn knew, the fire would fade, and humanity would inherit the world. His world. So while he still had time and power, Gwyn began to rig the world in his favor. Mankind had stood amongst those who set out to slay the ancient dragons, and, as if in thanks, Gwyn bestowed upon pygmies and men the Ringed City, an enormous, gilded city located at World's
So say it again.
End. The Ringed City.
Okay, so quickly, because there's all these buildings, right? So not everyone who lived in like Anor Londo or New Londo, whatnot, they weren't all gods or Oolacile. So man did live alongside Gwyn, but he became threatened when the Age of Gods would end and the fire would burn out. His fear of them increased. So he lived alongside humans and wasn't fearful of them because they had the power, but as they started diminishing, he realised that his legacy was going to give way to the Age of Man. So he gave the Pygmies and Man the Ringed City. This is Dark Souls 3, but the Ringed City is the capital of man. Oh, okay. Ooh. DLC juice. Gwyn was keeping the humans in check. So we're seeing that's a bit more of the arsehole Gwyn coming out.
An enormous, gilded city located at World's End. The walls were as tall as mountains, and above them soared Medea, an immortal archdragon that was raised by the gods. Below slumbered Gwyn's youngest daughter, the Princess Filianor, a woman of enormous faith and power, who Gwyn gave up to protect the Pygmies until the very end of the world. And at first glance, you might think these acts benevolent, you might think they were kind, but in the end, it was just a trick of the light. The walls were not for protection. The dragon had an eternal duty to battle the dark, and Gwyn's daughter, Filianor, would never see her father again. The purpose of the Ringed City was not to protect the holders of the original Dark Soul, it was to imprison them, like a ring of fire that encircles the darkness of humanity. And man was, in fact, branded with this very seal, the Dark Sign. And despite clear evidence of their heroism in the war against the dragons, their Dark Knights never were lauded for their service. So it's no wonder, then, that in all of the spellcraft and the hexes that stem from humanity, one thing remains constant. It craves a free will of its own, and it writhes against its shackles.
Loads
Perhaps
of
the first
Dark Souls
example of
3
this
stuff.
was the Mad King. He was Pygmy royalty,
I'm gonna roll with
and
it.
he rebelled
I'm gonna
against the
roll.
light. We have no idea what crimes he committed, but they must have been terrible, for he was put to death by Shira, a knight of Filianor. Only the Mad King would not die, and Shira, with the Mad King impossibly entwined around her spear, had no choice but to hold him quietly in a dark room until the end of time. There were, of course, other human cities outside of the Ring City. One such example was the dark city of New Londo, which was governed by 4 human kings and protected by knights of the Dark Blade.
Roxas the
kings were renowned for their foresight, and they even had fragments of Gwyn's very own soul bestowed upon them, so that they could better govern their people. Of course, this too was another trick of the light, for what lies at the top of New Londo but Filing Shrine, a place of undead sacrifice to Gwyn's Age of Fire. So no human city was permitted to flourish without a clear benefit to the Age of Fire. And there was no better example of this than another human city called Oolacile, which was the golden land of light sorceries. Light, it turns out, can be manipulated to foster illusion.
So I'm getting a little bit of Dark Souls Matrix. Gwyn is the Dark Souls animatron needing to be powered up, aka the flame. He's keeping the humans living the illusion of a happy, free life, but just to keep fueling the illusion. Dark Souls Matrix. Dark Souls Matrix. Oh my god. That's so cool.
Illusions. It can hide your...
So am I the Neo? I am the Neo. I'm the Neo. I'm the chosen one. I'm here to bust the illusion. Yeah. Yeah, Neo had to go blind. I had to shoot an amazing chest. You know Kung Fu. Jacket on, jacket off. This is why Dark Souls is more convoluted than KH. Dark Law ending equals red pill? Okay.
Intentions, it can even mess with the fabric of time. And spells of this nature would be of great value to the gods in the coming years, so Oolacile flourished, an exemplary city for Gwyn's pantheon.
Give me that again.
It can hide your intentions, it can fit to the Age of Fire.
Yeah.
And there was no better example of this than another human city called Oolacile, which was the golden land of light sorceries. Light, it turns out, can be manipulated to foster illusions.
Yes.
It can hide your intentions, it can even mess with the fabric of time. And spells of this nature would be of great value to the gods in the coming years.
So Oolacile made the Matrix data
Oolacile
code.
flourished, an exemplary city for Gwyn's pantheon, because it was proof that humanity could be taught to serve their interests. And so it was that a group of missionaries from Oolacile embarked upon the Ringed City, perhaps to preach and reinforce the power of the light in this dark city. One of these missionaries was called Half-Light, and he was a talented individual who was wielding the powerful artifacts of his homeland. He would go on to earn the favor of Filianor, and he would even earn the legendary dragon weapon of Medea. So it was no surprise that Half-Light elected to stay behind, becoming the last recorded spear of the church. And just as...
So Filianor was introduced as a fourth child of Gwyn. You had the Ares-like one, or is that the name of the Ares-like one? Was that Filianor, the god of war one? Then you got Gwyndolin and Guinevere. Is it Gwyndolin, Guinevere, and Filianor? Is that just the three of them? Or they're fourth? Filianor is the fourth child. Oh, okay, so they're fourth.
half-light visited the ringed city and even stayed behind, the reverse was also true of a certain Pygmy from the ringed city. This Pygmy's name was Manus, and while we know nothing about the nature of his visit to Oolacile, we do know one thing: he died there, and the body of primeval man, of Manus, was put to rest far, far beneath the city itself, out of the light and out of mind. We don't know much about Manus, and a lot is left to the imagination. What we do know is that he was a Pygmy far from home. He was a part of a race that Gwyn was doing everything in his power to suppress, and when you think on Manus's fate, it's kind of hard to imagine that Gwyn didn't have a hand in it, especially since Gwyn had an order of assassins, the Lord's Blades, in his employ. The leader of the Lord's Blades was Kidan, the Hornet. It stated that she laid waste to Gwyn's enemies, and of course, there's no proof that the Lord's Blades actually killed Manus, but you could also argue that that's rather the point of assassins, isn't it? Yes. Whatever the case, the tide was turning. Mankind was struggling against the world order, and even New Londo, which was once a haven for undead, had turned into a hideous spawning ground for the Abyss and its dark wraiths. At the heart of this uprising was a serpent named Karth, who swayed the four kings and taught its undead knights how to pillage back their humanity. Some descriptions even say the dark wraiths became the most human of all, but to others,
the dark wraiths are the enemies of man and any living thing that has a soul.
So as the age of man crept ever closer, yet another knight of Gwyn appeared, perfectly equipped to face it, the great knight Artorias. With a greatsword weighted to strike harder against servants of the dark, a great wolf who defined their fighting style, and a covenant with the beasts of the Abyss, Knight Artorias and Sif defiantly faced the worst of mankind. Yet, in the end, the terror that was the dark...
Okay, so it's the dark red. So what is a Pygmy? I thought Pygmies were like tiny little like impy-like things. But basically, yeah, the dark wraiths, Karth taught them how to nick back humanity. So they gobbled back loads of humanity, and Artorias set out to battle those things.
Dark wraiths could only be stifled with the sacrifice of their entire city. Such was the power of their four kings and the resilience of their abyss. Luckily for Gwyn, such a safety measure had been put in place years ago, and so the sealers of New Londo watched stoically as water rushed into the city and thousands of innocents died by their hand.
The entire city was sacrificed to contain them, for that is how great a threat they were.
But while Gwyn did manage to put the New Londo threat on hold, no one was prepared for the outbreak in Oolacile. I imagine when they figured out that a primeval human was buried beneath their very city, the temptation must have been too great to resist.
Yeah.
Believe it or not.
Right. Oh, really? Pygmies were just described as the race that led up to humans, like Manus. So Pygmies actually a term that we use. I don't know, let me... Pygmy race. Oh, I spelled it wrong. Pygmy race. Pygmy people. In anthropology, Pygmy peoples are ethnic groups whose average height is unusually short. The term Pygmy is used to describe the phenotype and short stature. It means diminutive people derives from Greek, meaning a short forearm. Origins commonly held. Direct descendants of late Stone Age hunter-gatherer peoples of the Central African rainforest who were partially absorbed or displaced by immigration. Yes. Sorry, I needed to find something for Horny Jail. There's a reason this is up. I got sent to Horny Jail on Discord, and I typed in Fun Fancy Sexy. Just I wanted to clear that up. I'm not just like casually day in day out just checking out sexy stuff. It was for the Horny Jail of Discord, all right.
Oolacile has brought the abyss upon itself, fooled by that toothy serpent. They upturned the grave of primeval man and incited his ornery wrath.
Just
What
permanently got a
could they have
sexy
been
tab open.
thinking?
Like the mad pygmy king before him, Manus rejected death, and he was as far from peace as could be. The raw emotion of humanity that we mentioned earlier billowed outwards, corrupting the townsfolk of Oolacile, and Manus became the father of an unstoppable dark abyss. Curiously, though, it's almost as if he was searching for something, using his power to reach across time and space until he found it. Instead, he found Dusk, Princess of Oolacile.
I still think on that creature from the abyss that preyed upon me. My faculties were far from lucid, but I quite clearly sensed certain emotions. A wrenching nostalgia, a lost joy, an object of obsession, and a sincere hope to reclaim it. Could these thoughts belong to the beast from the abyss? But if that were true, then perhaps it is no beast after all.
The object of his obsession was a pendant, and with it in our possession, we're pulled back to a time where all appears lost.
Well, look at this one. From what faraway age hast thou come? Thy scent is very human indeed, but not intolerable. I am Elizabeth, guardian of this sanctuary. Thou shalt see further on, an abyss was begat of the ancient beast, and threatens to swallow the whole of Oolacile.
The city is lost, the abyss is spreading, and mankind has succumbed to the worst parts of their nature. When Gwyn heard of Manus and his abyss, Artorias must have been the first one sent to deal with the threat. He was, after all,
Go
the
on,
best equipped,
Artorias!
but fighing dark wraiths is considerably different to the power of primeval man.
Can you get Artorias' armor in the game like that? Oh, he's such a badass armor. Pez, notice how rats in Dark Souls 1 drop humanity. Curious. So some deep, juicy lore point will be connected to that. Humans, we were brothers of a rat lord called the Splinters, the Master Splinter. Yes.
So Artorias was bested.
You can get
and
the
was
armor.
forced to retreat. Beset by the abyss, the final act of Artorias was to protect his companion. He shielded Sif with the divine power of his great shield. After all, his arm was broken, and he could no longer bear the burden. Then Artorias himself was overcome.
All of you, forgive me, for I have availed you nothing.
Knight Artorias came to stop this, but such a hero has nary a murmur of dark. Without doubt he will be swallowed by the abyss, overcome by its utter blackness. Indeed, the abyss may be unstoppable.
All was lost, and yet strangely, soon after the spread of the abyss was actually halted, and Princess Dusk of Oolacile miraculously wandered out of the abyss. Artorias' name henceforth passed into legend, the knight who gave his life to disperse the abyss to rescue the Princess of Oolacile.
Wow.
This is a lie, of course.
What?
In reality...
This is a lie, of course. A hero's journey happened in Dark Souls 1, and it was complete, and it was wholesome, and it was beautiful. Gotcha! Fake out! Oh, man. So his arm was broke. He couldn't carry a shield. I guess he's just getting that from the model. And he used the blessing on the shield to protect Sif Boy.
In reality, it is we who rescued the princess, and we fulfilled the legacy of Artorias.
Yeah.
This may strike thine ear as somewhat peculiar, but long ago, in my homeland of Oolacile, I was beset by a creature from the abyss. I would have perished then, were it not for the great knight Artorias. In truth, I saw little of what transpired, for mine senses were already fled, but even still, There was something about Artorias, a certain balance of the humours that quite perfectly fits your semblance. Heavens, could it be that?
With this, Manus's suffering has ended. But Manus wasn't the only corruption of the Abyss that we killed in Oolacile.
Oh my god, they tell me this is crazy! Oh, so she thought it was Artorias who saved her. We got dragged back through time. Oh man. Who comes up with this stuff?
There was also Artorias. The legend of Artorias is a lie. He did not vanquish the father.
All I'm going to quickly say is that there's been so many like plot threads in this little lore-a-thon, and I'd want to play a game. Every single one of them, all of them, could be their own bloody standalone title.
Of the Abyss. He did not eliminate the dark wraiths of Anor Londo. The Abyss is unstoppable, and yet, eons later, the legend of Artorias would inspire a legion of Abyss Watchers who continue to rage against the dying of the light. Yes, the Abyss is unstoppable, but they fight nonetheless. Even in this state, notice that Artorias continues to seek out and kill corruptions of humanity.
He does, yeah.
He's still in there somewhere, but his legend can only live on with his death.
He stabs one of them. Oh, wow. So Taurus
Only his fellow knights knew the truth.
Other knights.
But they would take his soul and his secret to the grave.
Abyss Walkers.
And while Artorias' soul was corrupted by the worst of humanity, it was the best of humanity that redeemed it. And the hero of Oolacile would disappear without a trace, almost as if he didn't belong. For in reality, he didn't. And eons later, deep within an enchanted wood, behind 2 locked doors and a troop of forest protectors, an ancient cat speaks the truth.
The legend of Artorias art none but a fabrication.
Yeah.
Traversing the dark. 'Tis but a fairy tale.
Yeah.
Alvina is keen to downplay the legend of Artorias because heroes and bandits have begun seeking out his grave. They would desecrate his legacy for the secret of abyss walking, and they may do harm to Sif, who, in fact, Alvina helped you rescue back when the world was still young.
Oh!
Imagine what Sif is
the
feeling
cat.
when you cross paths again years later. You're duty-bound to seek the abyss, and Sif is duty-bound to stop you. One of you will have to die, because Sif cannot give you the covenant of Artorias willingly. Maybe, in death, he can find his friend Artorias again.
That was the option I didn't get. Hey, Sif boy! But the cat kind of wasn't lying, really. Humans traversing the abyss is stupid and impossible. A dark truth in dark souls.
Before I go, I just want to say a couple more things. Firstly, this video was made far, far better by the contributions of a guy called the Parry God, who recorded footage for me this time. It allowed me to sort of focus more on the script and the edit. He's responsible for those fantastic slow motion shots, which I didn't know how to do, but they fit really, really well with the pacing of the video. So do me a favor and please go watch his cinematic short film on Dark Souls 3, because it's inspiring stuff. He's just getting his channel started, and his upcoming work is really well worth your subscription, in my opinion.
And
this is an appropriate video to shout out somebody else's channel in,
Dark Souls.
because all those years ago,
so good.
this video, Prepare to Cry, Artorias, this was the story I decided to tell for the first time, and this is the video that got my channel started, so being able to work on this again after everything I've learnt was really special for me, and I really appreciate that you watched it all the way through.
Nice video.
And I'll see you next time.
I got to dunk them likes, man. Dunk them likes. That was a great episode. Hell yeah, now this is a remaster worth paying for. Yeah. Moment of recognition and realization of the inevitability and the how gets me every time. Sif truly is the good boy. Dark Souls, Prepare to Die Inside edition. Hey, man. That was juicy. Alright. My wife didn't believe me when I told her the title Prepare to Cry is for real on this one. It was the reaching for Sif part that did it for her. What the hell was that? I was very skeptical about these remasters. I was feeling you should branch out to new content, but this was a good watch. Well done, Vay. Alright. How many more's we got? Siegmeyer of Catarina. Should we quickly watch this one? Whatever parry god is. It looks juicy. What is parry god? Oh, that's the name of the channel, the parry god. Alright, am I going to watch this?
Yes, indeed.
It's really weird.
Yes, indeed.
Why is the layout of
the dark?
Why is the layout of the video like half a video? It's like cut in half. Hold on.
Yes, indeed.
What is up with this? It's cut off. It's giving me half a video. Just type in cinematic short film.
Yes, indeed.
This is really, really weird. It's not a full vid. It's literally half a video. I've never had this on YouTube ever. Video proportions, Pez. Oh, so it's cinematic widescreen. It is supposed to look like this. There's no point in me full screening it because it doesn't actually do anything.
The dark sign brands the undead. And in this land, the undead are corralled and led to the north.
Some videos are just like that. I've never seen a video in this proportion.
To await the end of the world. This is your fate.
So elongated. Go on. Thank you to the parry god. Pez never watched a movie.
I'll die soon, then lose my sanity. I can feel it coming. Regrettably, I have failed in my mission. But perhaps you can keep the torch lit. There is an old saying in my family.
That's going to be the style of it. It's going to be like a whole montage thing. I might save that for the end. I want to stay on this law gravy train. Alright. Siegmeyer of Catarina. So this is Onion Boy. Yeah, let's stay on the law
Christmas
gravy
came
train.
early, fellas, and I
Alright then. For your balls.
Manscaped, which is an all-in-one grooming kit, which is something that needs to be on the top of your...
Yeah, okay.
The old fox.
I'd rather just have furry nuts, thank you.
You're doing? Venturing is my life. I'm prepared for the worst.
I'm such a chipper chappy. Nothing gets me down. Onion Boy is my name.
Have you seen my father? You wouldn't miss him. Tell him that Izalith is on her way.
Izalith?
Just stay put and keep out of trouble.
Perish, foul creatures! We can overcome this together.
So his daughter's coming.
Our fates do seem entwined, don't they? Perhaps this, too, is the will of Lord Gwyn. You seem to help me at every turn. This Knight of Catarina expresses his deepest gratitude.
That
now I
so
have no
stupid.
regret. I shall depart for my final adventure. Wherever you go, may you be safe. You are a true hero, to be sure. Perhaps the time has come. I am Siegmeyer of Catarina, and you shall feel my
Rough. Is that how it used to look before the remaster? For real, what is that? Is that some sort of like test environment or something? Because that is so potatoey. I would legit try to get up on the Hydra's back. That is some KH2 shit right there. Was that the environments at one point? That's the secret area you skipped. Wait, that's not the Hydra that I fought down at the... What? Oh, that was a different Hydra. Oh, it was a different Hydra. Were 2 Hydras? What did I need to do to get the other one?
You shall feel my wrath!
Go on then. Is Onion Boy going to make me cry?
When an undead loses all hope, they begin to hollow. Siegmeyer is an adventurer who prides himself on his bravery. His ability to progress and explore is what keeps him from hollowing. The name Siegmeyer means victory. Success is at the core of who...
Shit. Sorry, guys. My headset's just died. I'll plug this bad boy in. Through the trees out of Blighttown. Oh, no, not Blighttown. Blighttown. Alright, around there. Okay. I assume it would have just been a similar fight to the other Hydra.
Success is at the core of who he is.
Venturing is my life. I'm prepared for the worst.
With good intentions, the chosen undead saves Siegmeyer time and time again. The man learns that he only has to wait for his problems to be solved. So, in helping Siegmeyer, you take everything from him. And an undead who loses everything becomes hollow.
I've run flat up against a wall, or a gate, I should say. The thing just won't budge, no matter how long I wait. And oh, have I waited. This is quite a fix. We'll need another 3, no, maybe 5 bodies. Quite a fix indeed.
Oh my god.
By my knighthood, I'm ashamed to ask, but can you spare a few scraps of moss?
As you save Siegmeyer, you are draining his belief in himself. Every time you help him, he becomes more and more hollow.
Oh, really?
That is, until he decides to make a final stand. He sacrifices himself to repay his friend, but you take that victory from him as well.
So, oh my god, so as we help him, his independent, adventurous spirit slowly gets more and more diminished, the faith in himself. So even helping an onion bruh is dark and has darkness. God damn!
Friend, I have an idea, a good one, really. I will rush those dire feelings and you can slip away in the confusion. Please, friend.
Please, let me do this.
By the honor of the Knights of Catarina, allow me to assist you. And now, I go. Don't be slow.
Come on, let him help you. Off he goes.
Come on! Over here, you fiends!
Yeah.
Foul creatures! I am Siegmeyer of Catarina, and you shall feel my wrath!
Stop stealing his glory, you dick player.
Allow Siegmeyer to sacrifice himself while you escape. Then he will...
Oh. Okay. Weird break in the video.
As if you shame him and save his life. Again.
But you, didn't you get away? Well, you saved me, once again. Oh, thank goodness. I'm exhausted.
This is the last time you'll see Siegmeyer alive.
Why?
Oh, have you seen my father? You wouldn't miss him, a suit of armor just like mine.
Sieglind is the daughter of Siegmeyer.
Are you kidding me? His daughter. Are they both chonks? Are they both chonky? Father and daughter? Is that why he got so out of breath so quickly? 2 gluttonous adventurers. Damn, so we either let him die and have his honour, or we nick it off him again. And Simon.
risks the perils of Lordran to tell her father his wife's dying words.
My daughter risked life and limb just to find me, to deliver her mother's last words. And the poor girl's not even undead. Heavens. I never asked her to do that.
Oh, they're not fat. Oh, that's just traditional armor. So I've got to hear that again. That was some juicy. Oh, you actually you get to see their real bodies when you are Phantom in co-op.
Just to find me, to
Siegmeyer, dying words.
My daughter risked life and limb just to find me, to deliver her mother's last words. And the poor girl's not even undead. Heavens. I never asked her to do that.
It would seem that Siegmeyer abandoned his daughter and wife for a life of adventuring. It is clear that Siegmeyer cares for his daughter and her for him, but something has happened in their past that led to them being kept apart. After hearing his wife's dying words from the daughter who risked her life, he goes on his final, reckless adventure.
Yeah. What's that?
Hollowing is a slow process, with the undead suffering many deaths before they hollow to a point of no return. The name Sieglind means gentle battle. I believe Sieglind has killed her father before, but only out of necessity.
If he goes hollow, I'll just have to kill him again.
She's already killed him.
Siegmeyer hollows completely at the end of his adventure.
Yes. Now I see. You are one of the bad ones. Then there's only one thing to do with you.
Wait, do you actually fight his daughter in the game, or can you? Wait, what? So he's gone hollow before and she had to kill her father. Now she's doing it again. Or is this the first time? It kind of made it sound like it had happened.
Oh, how can this be, dear father?
Heavens, my dear little Lynn.
Oh man! Oh, you fight her in the game.
And so your friend Siegmeyer meets his end in Ash Lake, and there is nothing you can do to stop it.
My father, all hollow now, has been subdued. He will cause no more trouble. It's finally over.
No, he has gone mad, not hollow. No, I think he says hollow.
Dear father.
Am I wrong?
Dear father.
Wow. A grisly tale of father and daughter is in there as well. That's what happened to Onion Boy. Oh man. Even the one joyous thing I can pull back to was, oh yeah, there was this random Onion Bro, and as I was helping along, he was getting the benefit as well. We was helping each other, though mostly me helping him. Oh yeah, it was me helping him. Oh yeah, now I realise I've been helping him so much. I've crushed his spirit, hollowed him, and had to have his own daughter bloody put him down, or get us to put him down. I took away his purpose, Pez. I'm so depressed. This is my final stream, and I'm so depressed. Oh no, I mean when Vati said she probably killed him before because he had gone mad, but when you go hollow you don't come back when you die. Well, that's what confused me then. So she was just generally saying if he goes hollow, got to kill him because it's too late at that point, and she'd rather put her father out of his misery than leave him as a hollow undead, presumably. All right, man, here we go. Right, Rhea of the White. Rhea and the Way of the White. Rhea and the Way of the White. Is this a juicy one? Man, I'm like an old lady. I need to pee again. I'm hydrating too hard. Oh boy. 2.5 hours of Dark Souls lore. There is a lot of this juice. I think I even met a cat called Rhea. Rhea? Is Pez moving to Dark Souls 2? Not straight away. It won't be that long on the horizon. We were just talking about Horizon. Horizon Zero Dawn is one of the ones we'll be moving to. For sure. And I'm going to have another slot. I need to fill. New games after I come back from holiday. It's going to be great. Can't wait to dive into some new chunky story. She's the chick you killed in the catacombs, Pez. Alright then, these ads. The chick I killed in the catacombs.
Those who are branded with the dark sign will live forever. But is eternal life a blessing or a curse?
Maybe Persona 3.
The theocracy in the
Persona
land
5
is based around the way of white, which follows the will
Oh, no,
of
no, no,
Lord.
wait. So I'm going to restart this. Just remembered that. That's what I was wanting to play. Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk's out today, right? I know, I'll let you guys... Well, I can't play it regardless. You guys play it over the week. Some people wait until the reviews are in. I'm going to get a general sense and a vibe of whether Cyberpunk is one of the ones I want. Wait, Thursday? I thought it was today. I thought it was the 8th. Was it? Oh, no, that's the day I've gone. Sorry, no, this is my final day. But no, it's the 10th, right? It's the 10th. Yeah, that was it. Maybe that. I'll see how I feel. Based on reviews.
Those who are branded with the dark sign will live forever. But is eternal life a blessing or a curse? The theocracy in the land is based around the way of white, which follows the will of Lord Gwyn. Serving under Gwyn are esteemed houses like the House of Thoroland. Think for a moment about what you know of churches that existed in medieval times.
Yeah.
Churches seek control of all people in the name of God, and are conservative by nature. They
Cynical,
fear
but
change.
yeah.
One day, people become branded with eternal life. This would disrupt the balance, and naturally the church would fear this. But how to deal with it? Should you label it as a blessing and as the will of God? No. If this eternal life ended with people losing the will to live and becoming hollow, then why not label the dark sign as a curse? We don't know what made the dark sign, but the church made it evil.
The dark sign.
So, what happens if a member of the church becomes undead?
Oh,
To keep the age of
Rhea.
fire going, bonfires can be fed humanity through the art of kindling.
Yeah, I accidentally killed
Deep
her.
within the catacombs
Oh, the chick who jumped in front of my blade in the catacombs. She had two of her guard people. Was the guy who pushed me in the hole, and then she dove in front of my sword. She death by suicided on me. Right, her.
is rumoured to be a technique where bonfires can be fed to grow even stronger. The Way of White seeks this knowledge to better serve Lord Gwyn. The first undead member of the church was a paladin in golden armour. Equipped with legendary treasures, he set out on the first undead mission of the Way of White. A mission for the rite of kindling. From this point forth, all undead within the church are sent on this same mission.
Okay,
This serves two purposes. Firstly, if any undead succeeds in retrieving the rite, then the church will grow more powerful.
think it's their video
of a cursed undead.
of an undead, yeah.
Rhea is a
Makes
daughter of
sense.
the House of Thoroland, which is
Makes
inarguably the most prestigious religious family. However,
Okay.
she becomes undead, and even her high birth cannot save her from undergoing the undead mission. So Rhea is shipped to Lordran with 2 companions in a futile search for kindling.
So she's undead already at this point here. Yeah. Ooh. And so, what are the many ways you can become undead or hollowed in Dark Souls? Because we found it was Siegmeyer. He did it just because he lost his will. His will. What other methods are there?
Upon arrival, Rhea meets Petrus. Petrus is an undead cleric.
Wait, undead and hollow are different things. At this point, she is lucid undead, like you. So what's the difference between an undead and a hollow? The undead still have their humanity in them, and the hollows lost theirs? Siegmeyer was already undead when you meet him. So Siegmeyer was already undead, but he still had his humanity in. And then through us taking Siegmeyer's will, he also lost his humanity, which made him hollow. So it's unknown how people become undead, so anyone can one day become an undead. Is it just someone who died? Hollow is undead, went mad. So yeah, I suppose my more pertinent question then is how do people become undead in this game? Is it because of the curse of, as we're drawing towards the end of the Age of the Flame, that's increasing the number of people becoming undead?
Who resides at Firelink Shrine. He guides undead on their mission. But there's more to this man than there seems. Your first clue comes from the items he has stashed under Firelink Shrine. Your second clue comes from the Pardoner.
Hast thou acquaintance with Petrus of Thoroland? I wager you two has likely found much in common. For is he not too drenched in sin?
For a while, the player will notice their absence from the game. Eventually, however, Petrus will return, and he returns alone.
Right, Petrus of Thoroland.
Oh, you again? Me? I've become separated from my lady. I've scoured near and far, but no sight of her. Where could she have gone? My lady, to think I swore to protect you with my life.
He's lying. Petrus will gladly admit to his crimes if you discover the truth through law.
Everyone's fucking lying in this game. But he's lying. Oh my god. Going through the next Souls games, I ain't gonna trust anyone. I ain't gonna trust anyone who said shitty Dickies McGeezax to me. Mate. Go on, what have you done, Petrus of Thoroland? You scrope.
Petrus reveals that he hates the lady for her high birth, but why did he abandon her? Perhaps he doesn't think she's worth it. Perhaps he is a coward. Or perhaps it is his job to ensure that undead never return from the catacombs.
Ooh, that's sinister. Right.
Good day. You look reasonably sane. What are you doing in the catacombs? Are you a cleric or something?
Maiden Thoroland and her followers recently arrived in this land, but she became stranded deep below the catacombs. Her followers either fled or were reduced to hollows, leaving Maiden Thoroland all alone. Not a bad tip, huh? A newbar cleric would be replete with humanity.
Lautrec suggests that you rob the helpless girl of her humanity. She is alone in a dark pit, surrounded by her hollow friends and no way of escape.
You're no hollow, are you? Thank goodness. Please be careful. There are two fierce hollows not far from here. They were once brave knights, my former escorts. Who would let such strong spirits be hollowed so? Heavens, is there nothing at all to be done?
Grim. Why did she attack me? What?
Have you spoken with...
She wasn't just sitting there when I played. She jumped in front of my sword, man.
Sir Lautrec? Splendid. In the depths of the catacombs, Milady slipped off the giant's coffin and into a hole. Her two companions are no longer human, and the lass weeps in solitude. Right now, you could do as you please with her. The poor little purebred is entirely helpless.
You banished those two hollows, did you? It pains me to think of the trouble my failings have caused. I am certain that both Vince and Nico are grateful to you. Thank you so very much.
Oh, it's you. You read...
Wait, so you're saying that she was just sat there on the floor and I accidentally smacked her? And then she got up and came at me, and then I stabbed her again. No. No. Oh, I'm a villainous boy.
Rescued, milady. Well, a pity that is, for it will amount to nothing, for the little madam is not worth her salt without her family name.
After everything, you find Rhea alone praying in the church.
Dear Vince, dear Nico, forgive me. I have lost all those who were close to me. Perhaps Petrus realized my weakness all along and thus made the decision to abandon me. I can hardly blame him now. If I do go hollow, then finish me off, I beg of you.
This is where the path splits, but both paths end in death. If you do not kill Petrus for abandoning Rhea, then Rhea will die. Petrus plays innocent, but if you kill him after her death, you will find her ivory talisman upon his person. Perhaps Petrus kills Rhea to keep her quiet. Perhaps he hates her high birth. Or perhaps
Them reenacting these scenes is so good. Like, in comes Petrus. Went to assassinate the girl he was supposed to watch over.
Disposing of undead is his job. But if you kill Petrus for abandoning Rhea, then she will not be assassinated.
Ha! By the lords! You damned fool! Enough of you! Feel the wrath of the gods!
Yeah.
Fool! What were you thinking? Too bad for you. I'm a wolf in sheep's clothing.
Is he a rough fight? No, he's down. Is he down? No, he's
Driven
getting
to
back up.
madness by emotion? So be it. You'll make a fine hollow. You can waltz in the infernal depths together.
He's using some lighty bizzle.
No.
He's pathetic.
This can't be. It can't.
I almost fought him and his
this.
two guards.
If an undead has a purpose, then they will not hollow.
Hey.
Rhea will teach you miracles in the church until she has nothing left to teach you.
Oh.
Shortly after, she loses the will to go on,
Yep.
but she continues to pray.
Oh.
Rhea is a highborn girl who becomes undead. She no longer has a place in her homeland, and is cast away to be forgotten. She does her best, but fails to find the secret of kindling. Betrayed by a man who hates her for her high birth. Tricked by Patches, lusted after by Lautrec, and responsible for the death of her friend.
Hold on. Lusted over by Lord Drek? Lord Drek? Where's that come from? Who lusted over her?
Lusted after by Lautrec, and responsible for the death of her friends.
Oh, what? Was he the guy pushing someone saying, oh, you can do what you like with her?
She is rescued by you, the only one in Lordrun who gives her mercy.
Oh.
She repays you with miracles, but she soon teaches you all that she knows and is of no use.
And it just stands there
There
miserably.
are eyes watching. Channelers are the eyes of Seath, and can be found in many lands. One of them frequents the undead church. While their motives are largely...
Oh, weren't these the ones that were finding candidates for Seath, and once they found them, put them inside a crystal golem and sent them over to Seath for experimentation?
uncertain, it's known that Seath captures maidens for his experiments. The channeler spies Rhea as she prays, and takes her to a cell in the archives.
Gah!
And that is where Rhea hollows, and spends the rest of her days.
Oh my god. Oh, it's also ghoulish. Ghoulish and wrenching and...
If I do go hollow, then finish me off. I beg of you.
Oh mate, I'm gonna need to watch some cat videos after this. Some happy cat videos. I'm feeling hollowed. Jeez! Oh mate. Before they copyright me, bugger off. Oh god, Rhea and the Way of the White. Even more miserable than the last. Oh my god, more videos are just getting posted up and up and up. I'm gonna have to watch a few more, guys. As much as I'd love to sit watch them, we're coming up to the 3 hour mark. I'll end up watching Viti Vadya's entire Priscilla and the Chastity Belt immediately.
Once upon a time,
oh, it's
there
2
was a
minutes. Yep. Go on, lay it on us.
Dragon named Seath, who was a bit of an ugly duckling. His brothers all made fun of him, so he betrayed them and was rewarded by Gwyn. Seath had a thing for Gwyn's daughter Guinevere, and one day
he did. Seath had a thing for Guinevere. A bit of that amazing chest is even tempting interspecies relations. Let's go. Let's go. Seath x Guinevere. My boy.
Thing for Gwyn's daughter Guinevere, and one day he stuck his crystal halberd into her gaping dragon. 9 months later, a child was born. Priscilla. Once Priscilla had grown
Oh, wait! Wait, that's actually what Priscilla is? It's Gwyn.
Many of the gods realized that she was incredibly cute. She had a tail so fluffy that no mortal could resist petting it. The gods recognized that she would bring many, many, many one-quarter dragon babies into the world and locked her away. The painted world is essentially a giant chastity belt, but some adventurers could not resist Priscilla's allure and journeyed into the painted world looking for their waifu. These waifu fags were dealt with harshly, and their corpses were left as a warning for adventurers. Go back, go back. But alas, adventurers could not go back because the exit was actually behind Priscilla. Kind of pointless, really. Why use them as warnings inside a place you can't...
Is it me? I don't know why this keeps cutting out.
Why use them as warnings inside a place you can't even leave? Anyway, finally the chosen undead fulfills his mission. Every trial has led him here, and now he can claim his prize. He can now caress the tail of Priscilla. Many people believe that the true ending comes when you defeat Gwyn, but this is the real ending.
Thou must returneth whence thou came. This land is peaceful, its inhabitants kind, but thou dost...
I'm sorry, what?
This land is peaceful, its inhabitants kind.
Are you fucking kidding me? You mean these guys?
Yeah, these fuckers.
Its inhabitants kind.
Fatty Fidget decided to do a satire vid.
Its inhabitants kind.
Buried in truth.
This land is peaceful, its inhabitants kind.
Yeah, I guess they sure are fond of my souls. You bitch.
Bravo. Wait, so was that detail correct though? Did Seath actually stick his crystal halberd in Guinevere? Was that bit correct? Alright. What we got next? Nito, yeah, I guess we should learn about
In the beginning, there
Nito boy. Yeah, that bit is correct. Oh, man. So Priscilla was Guinevere's daughter.
was no life or death, no light or dark. There was, however, the above and the below.
You already saw the Nito one. Did I see the Nito one?
Above, where the everlasting dragons ruled.
Yeah, I saw that bit.
There is one that I haven't mentioned, who came after the other three lords. The furtive pygmy found the dark soul within the flame, dynamics that exist between the souls. His children to shepherd the humans. Maybe there's a reason the dark soul was found after the first three. Maybe it was the fuel. You already know what happens next. The grey dragons were cast aside, and Gwyn began
Mate, I think I have
the
seen
greater
this
the
one.
fire grows, and the undead for
Yeah, watched
kindling,
it.
the art of feeding bonfires with humanity. And Nito delivered the death blow. But why did
I've
he
seen
was
it,
given
I've
a
seen
glorified set of armor and the most powerful relics the church possessed. In a grand gesture, he was sent into the catacombs to retrieve kindling. You fight with him to kill Pinwheel, and the mission is successful. You retrieve the right from the catacombs which was stolen from Nito. But there's more. Attempt to kill Nito, and Leroy will defend him. Leroy will fight against you.
Leroy!
Assume then that Nito is important to the Way of White. Perhaps his purpose of spreading death is what Gwyn wants. It makes sense. Spread death, and the undead have to burn humanity to feed the bonfires and keep themselves.
Yes. I remember it. Yep. That's the bit I wanted to get back in my brain noodle. What his role kind of serves in as a Souls Lord with Gwyn. Right. So he keeps the undead going, which keeps them fostering the flame. Yes. Right, Lord Tech the Embraced.
Easy is where everything...
Who's this? Lord Tech. Have you seen the P5S trailer pairs? Yeah. Yeah, it's real good, man. Real good.
Knight Lautrec looks out for himself. If we are to
Lautrec.
judge him, then we should count our own
This is an NPC I flat out missed, so I don't recognise him.
sins first. You who invades for humanity. You who kills simply because something is in your way, or because they have something important to you. Helm of Lautrec the Embraced, representing the goddess Fina's love. During his solitude, he forsook everything, for he believed in the goddess's love for him. Ring of Favour and Protection, granted by Fina, known in legend to possess fateful beauty. The ring breaks if ever removed. Armour of Lautrec the Embraced, representing the goddess Fina's love.
When he's saying Fina, is that the fourth child of Gwyn we just learnt about? Because it wasn't Fina, it was saying something different to that. It was like, it was similar to that, but not Fina. Was it Fina? I feel like he's saying the name differently now to what I learnt earlier. No, that's Philanor. Finavir. Oh, right. So we've got Philanor, so Fina's different, like goddess Fina. Was that Gwyn's wife? Who's Fina? This is a different god, okay.
The goddess's arms wrap around it, as if to embrace the wearer. The goddess Fina seems more sinister than you would expect from a goddess of love. She appears to a man who has forsaken everything, who will commit atrocities to serve. Her ring of protection breaks if you abandon her. The armor wraps its arms around you, clinging to the wearer. Is it a reminder of her love, or to remind you that you are hers? We know her love is faithful. If you're hers, you're well and truly a part of her design.
But if not, wrathful.
Whatever goals she has are yours as well.
Bit of Aphrodite.
So did Fina really love him deeply and personally? It's possible. Interactions between the gods and the humans are quite common. It's also possible that the man is simply within a religious delusion. We first encounter Knight Lautrec in a cell within the undead church. Why a church has a cell is a story in and of itself.
Oh yeah, I remember that
This
place.
is the story of how Lautrec came to be trapped there.
Well, yeah, but I went through that. I remember that room. It led to nothing. Nothing. I remember kicking down a door, going up a little stairs, and it was just a fucking box room. There was no one there. It was a lie.
It could have something to do with the Firekeeper soul down below, or perhaps Oswald the Pardoner. Maybe both. For if anyone is drenched in sin, it's Lautrec, and his desire for more humanity is clear. Even Patches speaks of it. It comes as no surprise then that Lautrec sets his sight on a harmless firekeeper. Firekeepers are corporeal manifestations of the bonfires they keep. Their souls are a draw for humanity offered to the bonfire, and as such their souls are gnawed by infinite humanity. It's clear that this isn't a fate that the firekeeper enjoys, since she expresses that she wishes for the curse of the undead to be lifted so that she may die as a human. Her tongue was cut out so she could not complain, and her blood-stained skirt implies that she was maimed so that she may not escape. Yet, despite this, she expresses a desire to for self. A firekeeper soul is quite a prize.
God damn! Oh wait, because I killed gargoyles first. Wow, so that was the Firelink Shrine firekeeper. She had a tongue cut out, maimed, and stuck in a cage. All because Lautrec wanted to impress his goddess waifu. Yay! Whenever I went down there, I never saw a firekeeper in that cell. It just said dead.
Lautrec escapes with the firekeeper's soul, whether he desires it for himself as a trophy.
Wait. No, that's just what they do to firekeepers. What do you mean? Well, all firekeepers? Lautrec just wanted to kill and rob her. I didn't save her. He weren't the one who put her in the cage. So who put her in the cage? Was that like Gwyn's posse? They just proper like mushed the firekeepers.
Trophy or for his goddess is unclear. Yet you and many other parallel undead track him down and invade his world.
Way of white people. Way of white people.
Here we go again. How many times will these lambs rush to slaughter?
Ah! Is this a savage fight? Flame up. That looks crazy. How'd you get a purple hue in the game?
Let's get it over with.
Oh no, that guy got one hit. It looked like it was going to be a nasty fight. Get wrecked. Get wrecked. This fight can be hard because you have to invade. And can't use flasks. Oh, you can't use... Wait. When you're invading, you can't use flasks? Wait, so if all the people who invaded me, they couldn't use Estus.
This is the end of Knight Lautrec. Whatever his designs were, whatever the goddess wanted, it died with him. So, is it worth restoring the Firekeeper, or will you give in to the same temptations as Lautrec? Who wants to go hollow, after all?
What a cool ending. Yeah. Yay! Alright, I think we're on our last one. The Heroes of Firelink Shrine.
The new BT Sport app.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Turns an undead into a hollow. What turns an undead into a hollow? Is it the passing centuries in a never-ending life? The experience of dying hundreds of times? Or is it those things, coupled with the loss of hope? Firelink is often the last place the heroes visit before
the loss of hope. Oh! I experienced it so many times. So viscerally.
They hollow. It's the gateway to many dangerous places. Most undead in Lordrun have a purpose that they strive towards before hollowing. However, there is one who is content to wait until his sanity slips away. The apathy of this man is kept within fire.
Is it me?
Come and go,
Yeah.
some never return, and he remains. At least nothing will bother him once he goes hollow.
Did you see him? Big Hat Logan, the legendary sorcerer.
in the flesh. This place is simply mad. Legendary heroes popping up left and right. They're making me feel quite inadequate, to be honest. Oh, have you seen that terribly morose lass, the Fire Keeper? She's stuck keeping that bonfire lit. Sad, really. She's mute and bound to this forsaken place. How did that silly sorcerer's apprentice end up? You know, the one always prattling on about Master Logan. He left for the Undead Burg, but never came back. Serves him right. If even old Big Hat can't make it out there, what chance does he have? I hope he enjoys his new life as a hollow. How did that raggedy old chum end up? You know, the one who idolized some godmother of pyromancy. He left for Blighttown, but never came back. Did you hear about the maiden? The virtuous lass came back alone, and in absolute tatters. Did her followers die, or was she abandoned? Who knows? But I suppose we've heard the last from Milady.
This guy gets to just watch all the
Did you
grizzled
ring
stories.
the second bell? That is incredible, I must say. But now we have a new problem. It's noisy, it snores, and its breath is lethal, and I was really beginning to like it here. Maybe it's time I do something about it.
Yeah, does he? Is he going to give... Oh, he's going to give Kampf one.
Well,
Framp.
What are you going to do? I've already
Karth is evil.
decided.
Framp.
I don't really care. I'm simply crestfallen.
Crestfallen. I'm simply crestfallen. There we go. The heroes of Firelink Shrine. Oh, man. Grizzly. Wow. Thank you guys for putting all of these together. The peasant crew. All right. There we go, guys. That is the Dark Souls. Where's that beautiful cinematic video gone? Where's that cinematic? Bizzle. I'll have to reopen it. I'll have that playing in the back as we sign out. Why not? All right, there we go. I am done.
Yes, indeed.
Thank you so much, guys. I will be back in a
There is an old saying
week.
in my family.
Hot diggity damn.
Thou who art undead art chosen. In thine exodus from the undead asylum, maketh pilgrimage to the
Thank you, old Kazoo, mate, for the schmeggies, Joe. Thank you. 3 hours of lore. That was satisfying. Really cool lore. So, Dark Souls 2 is a bit more separate, a bit more standalone. And Dark Souls 3 will pick up on some of those plot points again. Yeah, man. Can't wait to play these other Souls games. And Demon Souls, when I finally get that PS5. My mate came to me and was like, oh, down at CX. The dude can get you one real cheap. I was like, oh, go on then.
Let me guess.
PS5 real cheap? He was like, yeah, they've got one coming to CEX for 850 quid.
Have a seat and get comfortable.
And apparently that's good. That CEX offering the best prices and not all scalping. What is going on with the PS5 purchases? They're so fucked. Like, the Overton window of what is a cheap PS5 now has now shifted. People are like, oh, if you can get one for 850 quid, you're doing good. Jesus. Oh, man. Starting back on that fight. Whoa, that feels like ages ago now.
Hello. I am
Back when I was young.
An adherent
I actually did alright on the first Taurus Demon.
I have come to this land, the birthplace of Lord Gwyn, to seek
This is like the memory montage. The finale. This is so satisfying. Anything before I bounce? My beautiful Peasants. Indeed, in my country it sold out in 2 minutes. But yeah, I managed to get one. You've got one, King DD. You need it? And over. I need it for Demon Souls, mate. Be the bigger man. Oh god, I hate this area. Oh, that Minotaur, it's such a cramped space. I had fun hanging out and watching some lore. Yeah, man. Shout out to Vati Vidya, Harry God, all the other chaps. What was the other one? Dave, Steve, Keanu Reeve. Thank him as well. That was a good vid. Who was the one who did the ones with the iron breakdown? That was really cool. Enjoy your week. Thank you, man. When are you coming back, Pez? Well, I'll be back from Sweden on like the 15th, 16th. What day will that be? Yeah. So I may be back next week.
Wait.
After next.
Is it you?
Depends how I feel.
Well, don't stop now. The other bell is back down below the undead bird.
Oh man, these shots.
Infested blight.
Effort has gone into this. Dark Souls cinematic short film. Yeah, Dave Control, that was the other one. Yeah. Not getting the first batch of PS5s out, none of the PS4 launch models. Ejection bug. Was that just for the first models? I've heard some people say there's some issues with the PS5s, but I didn't realise that'd be a first model thing. The first models can have issues, I guess, and what, then they refine it. I ain't expect to get one till like March. Maybe I'll get one before, but... Pez, is this your final stream or Dark Souls or your final stream forever? Forever! This is it. I'm done. I'm hanging up FFP.
This end,
Thank you.
You must visit Anor Londo,
ending on an emotional Dark Souls montage.
The Lord Vessel.
Fuck the Final Fantasy. This is where the real memories are at. Goodbye, guys. Now I'll be back. Maybe. I don't know. What's the point? What's the point of it? I'm going to Sweden to find purpose again. Thank you, Monaco. Oh my god, Sens. A piece of my soul will always be down in that oil pit, that tar pit. Forever stuck down there. Never to move past. Never to move on. But if you don't come back, you can never play Dark Souls 3. Got a good point, man. 7 Remake Part 2 is a little bit compelling. And FF16 is pretty compelling. And Final Fantasy 14 5.4 is pretty compelling. There's a lot of juicy games. There's actually a lot of games I'm very excited for now.
Welcome to the Lost City.
Not even just those ones.
Chosen undead.
All the games we've been polling the guys. Ones that you've been listing for me to play. But yeah, I like it, man. I like switching up my... It's probably not like the most efficient way to do my live streams, but I like to change the tonality up of the game I play quite drastically between each iteration. Like if I've just played like a colourful, playsy, funsy game, I don't know, like Dragon Quest, Tales, I then kind of want to go dark, and then after I go like dark, and I do like my Bloodborne and my Sekiro, then I want to go into like the story juice again, like that story tunnel, like near, and like now I'm getting that vibe again. That's why like Horizon's calling out to me, and then I might pop back to my Persona, and then I'll pop back to my Souls. I feel like that's just my shift. Weebs, die, feels. Weeb's death feels. Weeb out, death out, feel out, repeat. Well, that's the general format I like to play. Near Replicant, for sure. For sure, when that gets re-released. Oh my god, Chonk and Jiminy. I've got to say that's the fight I felt the most achievement from, for sure. That felt real good. Just because it was a hectic duo fight. That and Artorias was so good.
I bequeath the Lord Vessel to thee.
I like the vibe of your Dark Souls stream. It felt oddly chill to me. Yeah, man. It actually feels quite chill despite all of the screams of terror and pain and getting lost and frustrated. It is also, I don't know, it's pretty chill. Chill in the most unchilling way. Alright guys, I'll see you in A week from now, be well. Be healthy, hearty, and whole. Have a pizza on me. Well, you'll have to pay for it. But have it on me. Oh, mate, I can't wait until December passes. Oh, it's just
This land is
my body.
Its
I'm a
inhabitants
craving that pizza.
Thou dost not
I'm having to
know
eat like fruit, nuts,
if thou
seeds,
hast
and
stepped into this
grains.
world, plunge down
Legumes.
from the plank and
I need to
hurry
eat something dirty. Very dirty. Man with 416 Elden Ring, Cyberpunk. God of War sequel coming out. God of War sequel. Yeah. Yeah, man. Have they released anything else for that God of War sequel other than just that bloody logo opening? And a bloody intro song, like that was such bullshit. That's all they showed us. Like, God of War 2 is still a thing. We're not going to show you anything. It's still a thing. Yeah, Elden Ring. I guess it would be pretty dank. George R. R. Martin, I don't know. Is George R. R. Martin that good, really? Like, he's written some good shit, I guess, but he's been a pain in the ass getting the rest of the Game of Thrones stuff out.
The secret of Sith's immortality.
Are you excited for Persona 5 Strikers? It's still so weird to me, it's Strikers.
Different.
Scramble. Yeah, man, I kind of want to do that as like a little chunk. I know, that would be such a big chunk, to be honest, of Persona 5 stuff, because I want to do... I'm convinced to carry on with the Royal, but I want to do Dancing All Night, and then Strikers. The thing is, if I tried to take those three on, I mean, that would be at least like 250, 300 hours of content, probably. Probably. This music is beautiful. It really is. I feel like I'm going on a tree. As I'm signing off on this last stream, heading off on a journey into the abyss, the chaos. This feels really significant. There's something significant right now. Soak it in. When you guys getting your next holidays in, yo?
My son.
When you're getting the next holidays in?
It's dark.
Some people think Bloodborne 2 is a possibility. That would be
So dark.
so good. He's such a seller.
Over here, you fiends! Perish! Now, return!
I'll have a prime sub waiting for you when you get back. Thank you, Nicola. I appreciate it, mate. Yeah, these tunes. Oh man, I could sit marinating to this, but we've crossed the 3-hour barrier now. I gotta bounce. Take it easy, guys. Andy. Be well. Asset, mate. Ryan. Ollie. Read by nature. Edward. King. Indeedy. Silvo, Kami, Nizazzy. Yeah. Socks Prince. Until the next live stream, guys. Hoopo. It almost sounded like she almost said it.